are listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
What is up, gamers? What is up? We're back with episode 145 of the Gamecasters podcast, the only podcast currently back with episode 145. We take our lack of seriousness really serious here, so if you hear us fucking around, swearing, making fart jokes, laughing hysterically until we cough at Steve Brule jokes or some other dumbass non-serious thing, know that that's us at our most serious. If we're not laughing, making jokes, or saying dick, poop, vagina, or fart, we're really slacking off and not taking our job seriously enough.
Correct.
So get ready, you pooping farters, for a dick in your vagina as we get down to business here for episode 145.
Get prepped.
Yeah. So you guys, I was looking through Reddit. I Reddited. Okay. I haven't Reddited in a while.
Okay. Redditor?
I was a Redditor. I became more of a Redditor. I think it was 2 weeks ago, Amanda Miller sent me that Reddit post
that we talked about on the last show.
That we talked about on the last show where it was... hear me out.
Yeah,
hear me outs. And I was like, oh, that was fun. That was a fun little thing. So I went on Reddit and I found this, I don't know, a subreddit, I guess is what they call it, right? And I think it was like, nobody will believe this.
Okay.
It was a story that, nobody will believe. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's dark, but it's kind of dark.
Okay.
This is entitled The Worst Date of My Life.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Back when I was single and on apps.
Oh boy, are we doing this the whole time?
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't think I can keep that up.
Back when I was single and on what?
On apps.
Like
dating
Tinder
apps.
Oh.
Natalie's old.
Like appetizers.
She's old.
I thought you said
Like
X
half
at
off
first,
apps.
like Twitter.
When I was on X.
Oh.
Okay. Back when I was single. I matched with this guy, and he's super cute. He had a shirtless mirror selfie, which was usually a hard pass for me, but he seemed sweet/nerdy, so I talked to him. He tells me how he's really worked on his body because he was heavy growing up and really awkward with women. And I'm thinking, he doesn't realize he's hot. Anyway, I'm homesick that week and bored, so we message a lot and even FaceTime, and he's quirky but interesting and kind of funny. He seems to be pretty smart.
Sounds
He's
like you.
working for a biotech firm and applying to PhD programs. He tells me about how he has a daughter back home in Illinois, that she was the result of a one-night stand with a friend, that the friend didn't tell him he had a daughter until she was 5.
Oh, jeez.
And that he barely gets to see her because she's being raised by the mom's friend.
Weird.
We wanted to meet soon. I disliked talking too much before meeting, but like I said, I was sick. And I agreed to a late movie because it was midweek and neither of us had a ton of time. And we talked so much already, I kind of just wanted to be physically in the same room to see if there was any chemistry. We met at a theater, had a couple of drinks at the movie, and it was fine, and I was attracted. Second date is okay, but I'm feeling a little off. Something feels funny. And I'm thinking this isn't going to be more than a friends thing. We end up going to his place to watch Blade Runner, and I'm uncomfortable within the first couple of minutes. His apartment has weird vibes.
I thought you didn't like Blade Runner. She thought Blade Runner was fine.
He said he put on to Blade Runner, and I was like, ew, ick. That's one of my icks. His apartment was weird, super disorganized, and he's hung an old beach towel on the wall as a decoration. What the fuck? We sit down and start the movie, and I'm getting more and more uneasy. He leans over to kiss me, and I kiss back for a second, but then I tell him I'm not ready for that, quote unquote, and can we please slow it down? He says, that's fine, and stops the movie. I look at him like, he then proceeds to tell me he's in love with me.
Oh, my God.
Cool.
This is date 2. He's dumped his longtime fiance, who lives in Illinois, to be with me.
Perfect.
And that he would like us to move in together ASAP to try to have a baby.
This is a classic love story. This is Hallmark.
I think he's joking at first, of course, but quickly realize he isn't. He asks me if I will say I'm his girlfriend out loud to him, which I do because I think about true crime I watch, which is popular right now, and don't want him to murder me. I feel like if I show him I'm scared, he's going to freak out. So I tell him I'm your girlfriend. He then asks me if I'm ovulating right now because it turns me on.
What?
Oh.
I fake yawn and tell him I'm exhausted. It's a work night. I really want to see him tomorrow, so I'm just going to go home and get some rest. He looks totally crestfallen, but says, okay, but before you go, will you do me a favor? At that point, he's going to murder me, right? I think I'm going to be murdered. I say, what is it? And he asks, will you stand in front of a mirror with me so that I can see how beautiful we look together?
Oh my God.
Absolutely terrified at this point. I walk towards his room, stupidly, but I'm just trying to placate him because my gut feeling was that he was likely not a murderer. That's insane.
The moment you say no,
you're done for.
Yeah.
We walk into his room, and it's another disaster. Piles and piles of clothes everywhere. We stand in front of the mirror briefly, and then I say, I really have to go. I grab my bag. I refuse his offer to walk me to my car. I then straight up run to my car. I get home, check my phone, and there are several video texts of him touching himself, which were absolutely horrifying, and I shudder now thinking of him. I realize now the reason he isn't in his daughter's life is probably because the mother realized he was disturbed, and she had a very good reason to keep him in the dark. I get nauseated just thinking about him. I quit dating for a while and never put myself in another situation like that again.
Oh God.
So that's date 2 she went over there?
Date, I think, right?
Or was it date 2 was okay and then she went over the house?
She said second date is okay. I'm feeling a little off. Something feels funny. We end up going to his place.
so
This is date 2.
Okay, so day
So the
1 they
second
went
time
to
she
the
ever
movies.
saw him in person.
Day 1
Yeah.
they went to the movies. Day 2 they went on a date and then they ended up back at the house.
And he has already, in between these dates, he has broken it off with his
his life.
fiance and
for
said,
the new love of his life.
I want to masturbate in front of the mirror
Yes,
to you, please. Here's some video texts of me doing that.
Yes, I'm weird and we're going to feel the brunt of that. Okay.
We're in love. By the way, are you ovulating? Just, randomly.
Well,
just want to know.
Let me check my watch.
Like, do you
Because
want root beer?
girls who are just
or
single
Dr.
are
Pepper?
tracking their ovulation.
she has a calendar on her wall.
Right.
It's like, well, today's the day.
Just so you know, that really turns me on if I can feel your eggs inside of you.
Oh, that's weird.
That's really.
That's a fucked up story.
I feel like she did dodge some sort of like crazy psychopath something.
Yeah,
Even
this
if he
is-
wasn't a murderer, like he could be a stalker. He could be like anything weird.
Do you think his daughter, with the mother of the daughter,
I
was
thought
this
that
same
too.
kind of thing?
Maybe.
that could be?
I think first, like, these are all usually posted like anonymous on this.
Yeah.
Someone like she should be telling people this is who this person is. Maybe not in this Reddit story, but somewhere to be like,
Yeah,
listen,
so no one
Stay
else-
away from this
Stay away from
fucking
him.
thing.
Right.
Yeah, I
This
know there's
guy's
apps
crazy.
that are more like
A little more anonymous?
or they're like aimed toward like women doing the decision making and picking and that kind of.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if there's a review process.
But that's what you need. That's what you need
It
here.
needs something like that because that's frightening for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. What would you have done in that situation, Natalie?
If I was
you're
at
in
his
that
house?
situation, on date 2, and he's. I mean, I don't think she did anything wrong. Of course.
No.
Because like when she was like, he asked me to kiss him, and I did. He asked me to say that I'm your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I did.
If I felt like I was scared for my life, I probably would have done something
Same thing.
similar.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think she
like-
did. What-
Like do anything to like get out of this as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I think the question is, what do you do the next day?
Yeah.
For
Do you
the
go to
next
like the
months
police
and
for
months
something
and
like
months?
that? Even.
I mean, there's nothing to go to the police for.
I mean, the jerk off videos, maybe. I don't know if that's.
I think I
he
would block
sends
him
you texts jerking off.
I know, but at
maybe.
what point, like,
or just say like,
I'd be curious of a month after update. Like, does he
Yeah,
just
because
move
there's
on
no
to the
way he
next-
stops, right? There's no way
Yeah.
after that
right,
he just
thinks
stops.
he's in love with her, so
Or
he's
his
gonna
this is
keep
thing,
trying.
he does
breaks
this
it
all the
off
Hopefully,
time.
he doesn't
with-
know where she lives.
You think there actually was a fiance back home in Illinois that he was?
Yeah, that seems kind of weird. Like, why don't you live?
That seems
in
like
the same
something that
state
a
as your-
crazy person would think that a non-crazy person might think is sexy.
I know what I'll do. I'll tell her that I just broke up with my
Right.
fiance for her. She'll
Also,
like me
he's
that way.
like
Is she
going
ovulating?
on dates while he's engaged.
Come here.
So clearly, if he had a fiance, it wasn't.
Say you're my girlfriend.
A good
say
situation.
it. Say it.
That's so weird.
I'm just gonna need you to say it.
Yeah,
You're
no.
my girlfriend.
It honestly, I just watched this movie called Woman of the Hour, and it's about.
watched that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's about like a real life serial killer in the 70s, and what you just described reminded me so much of like that, like a situation in that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
That
So
movie's
maybe he's a
interesting.
serial killer who just hasn't defended yet.
So
'Cause,
this
like-
is no spoilers with the movie, but
I don't think
this
so
is
either.
it's called Woman of the Hour, right?
Yeah, Anna Kendrick.
It's a true story. This serial killer ends up on the dating game. He's one of the contestants on the dating
and
game.
on the dating game, he's like the most charming one. He's like a very
Wasn't that
charming
like a typical
guy.
thing of serial killers?
I mean, yeah, with like people always said that about like Ted Bundy.
yeah.
Yeah,
that she was just like, I'll pick this guy. Oh, he's just a fucking
Did he
serial
kill her?
killer. No.
Oh.
I mean, he killed some.
But he didn't kill the
obviously.
person he was on the dating game with.
I know, spoiler
Okay,
alert.
I guess.
No.
Yeah, but...
No.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I mean, yeah.
But there
no,
was
it's
like some
not.
creepy scenes where like,
It's weird.
you know, like she ended up picking him and then they like go to this bar and they're like hanging out. And then when they leave, she starts getting some really weird vibes. And
It's like
suddenly
that
they're like
kind of feeling.
alone in a
Yeah.
parking lot. And she's just like, how do I get
Something's
out?
telling
boy.
me to run the fuck
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
here.
Right. And then,
Trust your instinct on that.
and then like, yeah.
That's a bad dating story. What's up with you guys?
I have a weird Reddit story.
Do you really?
Awesome.
It would just been insane if it was the same one.
That would be crazy.
Because it falls into something that I think we all enjoy, masturbation.
Fingering? Oh, I was close.
You were pretty
I was
close.
really close.
Yeah. Did you know there's a world champion masturbator?
Well,
World champion?
I haven't been involved here, so is he the
that's
world
true.
champion?
Well, claims to be.
Yeah, okay.
So
Allegedly.
What makes you a champion? Of
I
You get a
will-
trophy.
I'll
You
tell
get a
you.
trophy. There's probably
So
a
his name is
contest.
it's something that I can't pronounce. Sato is his last name. Mansobi, whatever.
So he's
Sato.
Japanese or something?
He is the world champion in masturbation. Okay, in 2008, he pleasured himself in front of crowds at the
Whoa.
San Francisco annual Masturbate-a-thon
How did I not know this exists?
for 9 hours and 33 minutes.
That's
And
kind of
even-
a long time.
Even talked to the press about his handy,
During-
award-winning
I
technique.
feel like that would hurt.
How many times did he achieve?
I don't know if you have to just like
It's just constant without achieving? You gotta
maybe
that's tantric.
that I don't know. I need to, but maybe we need to research this.
Yeah,
Also,
we got to find more out.
Doing
he
that
just-
in public is like illegal.
hottest
How could
thing
they
ever-
like
right.
have?
I mean, I'm sure there's waivers you can sign.
That's weird.
You have to
that
sign
that
and come.
exists.
He says, yeah, it says his girlfriend doesn't like sex, but supports him in his ambitions. In 2009,
Doesn't like
She's like,
sex.
oh.
so here's this. It says 2009.
I think he
and then
became
in-
so good at masturbating.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
In 2009, and then in quotes it says beat his own record, extending it to 9 hours and 58 minutes. He has sponsorships from Tenga, a Japanese company that makes crazy futuristic masturbation tools.
Couldn't even go 10 hours.
He's also suspected to be the pen name behind Turbo Masturbo, who wrote a book called How to Masturbate Properly, which contains 100 masturbation commandments.
Techniques, commandments.
Yeah.
What the
100?
100 commandments?
The 100 commandments.
You are
on how to jerk it.
commanded to do this.
So here's a picture of him.
Okay, what's that glove?
I think it's one of his jerk off things.
Okay, he uses that.
Oh.
It's probably commandment
I
number
think
45.
this is this Tenga, this Japanese company that makes futuristic jerk off.
I want to know commandment 69.
Yeah, that'd be
bad.
the best one.
I'll get you
But
that. For
I don't know if
Christmas,
it's
that
like
book.
9 hours of just stroking it without.
Yeah,
like,
you
is
not
that-
achieve.
You have to like keep going.
How could you not achieve? As biology says that
Or,
after a
yeah,
while,
or is it
your
a-
cum's going to be in there like, is it my turn? Okay, here we go. Wee.
Like, is it
Right.
just, or is it 9.5 hours of just you just go, you just see how many times you
Like,
do it
do you
over
have
and over and
to-
over and over again?
How could you? I mean, my record is what, maybe 3 times in one day. I don't even know if I've done that much.
And that's like that's a record. That's like
That's a personal
think
record.
I think people would be like, yeah, okay.
3 times. That's pretty good. But because
But to be like,
if you're
I've
going
done
9
it for
hours,
9.5
you cannot
hours.
achieve because that's painful.
Well, maybe
You achieve and then you're.
he's-
How do you just
Yeah.
I guess got to read the book.
That's why he's
Yeah.
the world
I need
champion.
to know the commandments.
That's why we're not world champions.
What does he
Yeah.
get for this?
He
don't know,
probably
a
has
story.
a lot of tech.
Notoriety and a
He
shout out
gets-
on a
well,
board
obviously
game
this-
podcast.
Yeah, this Tenga gives him sex toys.
He gets
Probably
sex
gets
toys.
paid through that.
We could probably sell those.
Probably sell them.
They're not worth nothing.
Yeah, you could just walk around with it. I am the masturbation.
I'm the
champion of
master
world.
baiter.
Yeah.
Commandment number 101.
Great.
That is
Damn.
you know?
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm also listening to a podcast not from Emily, but it's Emily's recommendation.
Okay.
And it's called Noble. Did you hear us talking about this when we were at your house?
Noble.
No.
No, I don't
Noble.
think so.
It is it's about this crematorium
Oh God. Okay.
in Georgia. In
Okay.
Noble, I think it's in Noble, Georgia.
Okay.
That
This makes sense now.
this
coming from Emily.
this guy went there to essentially fill up the propane tank.
Fill up.
this thing. And kind of noticed that there was there's like a body part sort of next to me.
in the crematorium.
Yeah, just next to the
Yeah, so
crematorium.
not
in the
like-
woods next to the crematorium.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So and then, kind of discovers a couple more like pieces of body. And then this story just like completely unfolds into dozens upon dozens of uncremated bodies that have just there. And
In the woods.
in the woods in the.
Like they were supposed to be cremated, and they just threw them.
They
in the
were
woods?
supposed to be cremated, and families got what they thought were the ashes of their loved ones, and they were
Why
in
wouldn't they
the
just
barn
cremate them?
and this other thing. Right?
They don't know how. They started this business and they were like,
Like,
where
shit.
would be the crematorium? Shit,
This
we
has
don't know how to
been-
do this.
This crematorium is in business like it's like a generational thing.
What if
it's
you,
a
what should we do with that
strange
arm?
story.
Just throw it in the woods.
Yeah, just throw it.
No one's gonna
It's
think
a
that's
strange story, but it's kind of captivating me through the first like 5 episodes or whatever
Yeah.
I'm on. Weird.
How long
so
is
if you
it?
kind of like, I
Does
think
it?
it's
Is
eight
it?
or 9
Remember
episodes.
that one? I don't remember the name of the podcast. Remember that one podcast you listened to with like that? Was it like a teacher or something that was like killed, and then there was some
Yep.
like discovery
That was called.
while the podcast was
do you remember
happening.
this one, Jeff?
Something related to like a peach orchard or like pecan.
The pecan orchard.
The pecans.
It was really
It
famous.
was like
Pecan
like
Sandies.
they
It
were
was
going
the
through
next
this like
famous
cold case,
podcast.
and then during the podcast they like had this like big discovery.
It was the next
Okay.
famous, next most famous podcast after Serial.
I wonder if it's
Okay,
is it
after
something?
Ad.
I was
For true
wondering,
crime.
is it something like that where it's like it just this one story that it kind of goes through?
It's just one story.
Yeah.
So this noble is gonna, I believe, surround this entire thing. It happened in 2000 and something. Like it's like a 20-year-old thing. Yeah, but not super, not like very old.
Yeah,
It's old,
yeah.
but not very old.
Yeah,
But if you kind of like the true crime vein, this is cool. Like I'm enjoying it. It's captivating. But if you don't like that sort of like death kind of thing, don't.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep listening to us talk about the world champion of
Up
masturbation.
and vanished. Sorry.
Yeah. Up and vanished.
Up and
I
vanished.
think I did.
Yeah,
I think I did.
that
listen.
was one of the
years
ones
ago,
that,
but
like-
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. So that's yes, and Thanksgiving. You know,
We did have Thanksgiving, didn't
Yep.
we?
The old American Thanksgiving.
What do you guys think of Thanksgiving food on the whole?
I,
On my
Overrated?
whole.
Yeah, in and around
I
all
feel
your
like a lot of
holes.
people think it's overrated. I always have loved it,
Okay.
especially last night's. Every single thing everybody made was so fucking
See,
delicious.
I agree with you, but I'm typically one of the people who doesn't get excited about Thanksgiving food.
Yeah.
But you're right. The food we had yesterday was unbeatable. It was
It's
so
just
good.
massive amount of carbs. Like I always think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't like stuff my face with like 5 plates full of stuff.
No,
Joe
yeah.
deep fries a turkey, which is always really good.
That's awesome.
So I like
That
that,
sounds
a lot.
Yeah.
And then my aunt makes a really good apple pie. Those are kind of the things I look for.
I
Yeah.
would love an apple pie.
We had,
You
like-
Alamode that shit?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the only way to
We
do
had
it.
brisket. My cousin's
Which is
husband
awesome.
always makes
Always
a
makes a
brisket,
brisket. It's
and
great.
turkey.
Yeah.
And then, obviously
The
stuffing.
turkey was fantastic. The stuffing
the
was
mashed
fantastic.
potatoes, the
Cornbread was really
yams,
good.
the cornbread.
Yams, the
Oh.
candied yams.
Yams.
I really
We don't do
enjoyed
yams,
that food,
really.
but I typically, if I look at that spread, I'm not getting like, oh yeah, I can't wait to eat some turkey. I like
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. I do, but I'm not like, fuck yeah, there's some mashed potatoes. Give me some mashed potatoes. I'm not like that.
I do. I love mashed potatoes.
I like mashed potatoes a lot too. I do,
Yeah.
but I'm not like, that's not like I'm excited about it. Food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yesterday's food was insane.
Yeah. Good.
It was really good.
Yeah, it
So I
was
was happy
yummy.
about that. Our Lions are 11-1.
Yes.
Can you believe that?
No.
Lion.
No, I don't even think I can. I think there's a glitch in the matrix.
Yep.
Something
It's like too
we
good to be
moved
true.
timelines or something.
Have you heard about the, I don't want to say it's a rumor. I guess it's like a joke that I think it's Peyton Manning is the reason that the curse has been lifted. So there's a,
Oh, because he went on the field at one time and
yeah, it was like
lifted
a,
it.
yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a skit.
On the
yeah,
Lions field?
So people are like, oh, well, Peyton Manning, I guess, just lifted the curse for us because ever since then we've
Yeah.
been crazy.
There was
good.
like the curse of, was it Bobby Lane or something? The curse
Yeah.
of somebody that were like, they cursed the Lions before they died or left or some shit. And then they did this thing 3 years ago on like a Monday night Lions game where like Peyton Manning and somebody else and just these like TV
commentators, yeah.
commentators and old football went out there and like did a little dance and were like, it's the
curse is gone. And then now
since then,
they're
it's
said
been,
that?
like really good.
Yeah, it sucks because I was telling this to Natalie a little bit ago. My dad was a diehard Lions fan, and they were the worst team ever for
Consistently.
his and our entire
Yeah.
life. Well, I guess when he was like a year old, they won the championship. You know,
Which
like
wasn't a Super Bowl. It barely counts.
3 or whatever. Yeah. But basically, for his whole life and our whole lives, the Lions have been the worst laughingstock team in
Yeah,
the NFL.
laughable
And
franchise.
then he dies, my dad, and now they're the best team in football.
And now,
a couple
like-
years later, they're like the greatest. They're like
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
it's like, damn it.
Missed it.
Yeah, like, it would have been so
would've
cool
been
to
so
share
excited.
this
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
He would have
he'd have
fucking
been pumped.
Oh, he'd have been so pumped because they
Buddy,
just.
you're not gonna believe what.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because their record right now is 11-1, and they've never done that before.
No.
That's their first time in franchise history. They've
Won 10 in a row for the first time in franchise history.
They even won on Thanksgiving yesterday.
For the first time, like a
for the first time since like 2016. I think. They haven't
8 years.
won since that. It's holy shit. They don't do well on Thanksgiving, and they didn't do well yesterday.
No, they did
but
not.
They got the W in a game that historically they would have gotten the L.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. All right. All that aside, we are a board game podcast. You wouldn't believe it, but we are. Jeff, bring us into what makes us a board game podcast by talking about a board game.
Board games.
What do you got?
I have board games. Okay. I've also been playing more on BGA. Still.
Moron?
Moron. I've been playing Moron. The game Moron.
Moron BGA.
Yeah. Moron Dave on BGA.
Okay, what have you been playing on BGA?
So I actually I kickstarted Fromage.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay, so I got
I've
that
been hearing
everywhere.
that
And then-
about that a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and then I played it with a few people on Board Game Arena.
Okay.
And I played with Maddie and Alan Fullerton and Slapian. So the four of us
I
played.
think I saw this happening in the
Yes,
Discord.
it happened in the Discord. We played.
Cool.
I played it once. I did the solo on BGA as well.
Looks
so
cool.
I'm like really excited to play it on the table. I
Yeah.
really liked it. It's lighter than it comes across, I think, as just like you might look at it. It's a bigger box. It looks
Yeah.
like
What
could
is it,
be
like
heavy.
a 3?
No, I think it's sub 3.
Oh.
If I had to guess, it's probably 2.5.
Okay.
But I really liked it. There was cool mechanisms in it, so I'm really excited to play it on the
Got any cheese?
IRL. Got any cheese? It's not that much cheese.
Jareth, look how much cheese I can fit in my
That's
mouth.
not that much cheese. Oh man,
That guy deserved an Emmy
He
for
did.
that.
for two
Two lines.
cents, yeah.
It was that's not that much cheese. And what was the other thing you said to her?
What is this?
It's a 30 Rock. It's just one character.
So
Was his name Jareth?
Cherith or something.
Jareth, I think was his name. And he's this big fucking dorky, dweeby dork, okay? And Jenna, who's like this beautiful blonde, right? She's like in a scene with him. And
Like
for
wants
some
his-
reason,
yeah, so
remember
weird.
she's like, look, Jareth, I know all the steps to a
Yeah.
song. And there's 2 lines he says. And one of them, she's like, look, Jareth, look how much cheese I can fit in my mouth. Because she's like trying to impress him for some reason. And all he says is, that's not that much cheese.
They want, like, I don't know why she wants his attention.
Right? He's this big fucking
ridiculous.
dweeby dorky guy. Gosh, it's funny. See how serious we're taking this right now?
Very. Okay, I want to talk about a game called Doggerland.
All right.
Doggerland.
Have you heard of this game before?
No.
No.
Doggerland.
Not since about 20 minutes ago when I said, what games do you have to talk about today?
Yeah,
You said
it's-
Doggerland.
It's under the like Hachette
Umbrella Tree?
umbrella tree.
Okay.
I think it's from Super Meeple. You want to double check?
Oh,
that?
Super Meeples. All
Get that
the way
right?
across the sky.
But I was really interested.
Let's see.
It's got a cool look, cool theme, prehistoric theme, right? Is it Super Meeple?
I'm looking. It is Super Meeple.
Not about dogs?
Super Meeple. It's not about dogs.
Oh, well, that's
Doggerland is
disappointing.
apparently yeah.
Sorry, Natalie.
Oh, Natalie's
not
got-
Tune out.
interested
Yeah,
anymore.
tune out, Natalie.
Natalie, I'll talk to you about 8 minutes, okay, when I'm done with it. Natalie's like, ooh, dogs? Dogland? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Check out. Go on my phone.
Now she has to look at pictures of dogs or she'll be off the rest of the
Look
episode.
it up, what it looks like.
So apparently Doggerland was a real place.
Okay.
So it's in like Northern Europe, east of the UK, where like the North Sea is now. So like prehistoric, you got to go back in like the day.
Now
like 15
submerged beneath
yeah.
the southern
Oh.
North Sea.
15,000 BC. You got to go way back.
Yikes.
Damn.
That's
So
a long
players
time
are
ago.
like prehistoric clans, kind of, right? You're like, you have your own group of prehistoric,
Yeah.
people. The main board is huge. It's got like a grid tile system thing. And then there's spaces for workers, and there's blank spaces to add tiles to the board, all that kind of stuff. You get a great dual layer player board.
I see it. It's dual layered. This looks cool.
Which has place for like your own dwellings, like you kind of build your own like dwellings on there. There's a couple worker placement spots on it, holds all your resources. It actually holds your resources in a creative way that I don't understand why other games don't do this.
Really?
But if you look at the try to look at the player board, there are these just like little half like semicircles at the
Yep.
top of the board, and it's just like put your wood here, put your what things here, and you just like kind of place them up top of your board. But it's just nice that it sort of like
there's like a
separates
little
them.
separate area for them. That does
like, they
cool.
didn't need
That does
to,
look cool.
Like it'd be cool if they were like their own like bowl.
It's better this
in
way
the thing,
because
but
it's
this is
less
nice.
space.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this
Sometimes player board, like as much as I love Revive, the player boards in Revive are like as big as a game board.
Yeah, they're huge.
It's like so hard to. We have a big table, and it's hard to like play that game with 4
If you
people.
make it like a finite space on your player board, then I get more resources and I'm like stacking or whatever. But anyway, it all worked really well. So this is like a worker placement, resource management, and a kind of a programming game.
Oh.
Not like Robo
Not like Robo
not
Rally?
like Robo
This
Rally
time I'm going to
programming.
try this.
Yeah. But you're working to, as this prehistoric clan, working to like increase your population, explore the land, make crafts, hunt, kill a bunch of cool things.
Yeah.
Paint those memories on walls.
Okay.
Rocks. Build like megaliths.
9
Basically
hours
just
and 58 minutes.
Try to survive the harsh seasons of living in 15,000 BC in what is going to end up being the North Sea.
Right.
So each round begins with players taking turns and putting their workers onto various locations to do the things I just mentioned above.
Wow, this
Explore the
board
land.
is huge.
It's big. And you go around and you just place them out there. There's different types of workers that can be placed on different spaces. I forget what they're called. I think I wrote them down somewhere. But
Doggers.
there's like this worker is like he's the chief, so he gets to do things twice, right? But when you place your worker out there, you don't activate anything right away. So you just place your workers out. So Ryan might put his 6 workers somewhere. Natalie puts her 6 workers somewhere. There might be 2 in a spot because you need to hunt something. You might need more people there to hunt, all that kind of stuff. So all your workers, everybody's workers are out on the board. And then the next phase of you take them back. So in sort of simultaneous play, which I like because it doesn't really matter what other people are doing at this phase.
That's
it does
cool.
when you place it because you take up a spot. But when you take back, you basically take everything back and then you activate the spot that it was on in whatever order you want to.
This
So
is the programming.
the
kind of
first one out doesn't have to be the first one you take back. Maybe you really wanted that spot, but you need to get the resources in order to activate that spot first, so you do the other ones, right? Yeah, the chief worker. There's a shaman that has specific places that you can go to. So there's all these different actions that you can do. And that's the game. You keep doing this over and over again for like 6 or 8 rounds, depending on what you play. You get points for accomplishing goals and building huts and painting these pictures, these animals that you hunted, getting more population and some other stuff that, in a game. I'm simplifying a 3.5 weight on BGG.
Yeah, for sure.
I think.
Yeah.
So it's got to be around there. You have the BGG?
I do. I'll look it up.
It's got to be like a 3.5.
It is 1.7. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
3.52.
Okay. Ooh.
Damn, that was close.
I really liked this game. I think I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Is this
There was
yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
There were a couple hurdles in the game that I'll talk about, but the game does a surprisingly good job of like telling a story that I normally wouldn't get into. The prehistoric games I've played are like Paleo was kind of cool. That was
Yep.
a cool co-op
You
game.
liked that.
Endless Winter I really love.
You like that too.
But Endless Winter I like because the mechanisms are really good.
Yeah.
Nothing here, maybe other than the semi-programming and pulling things back, is like really exciting.
yeah.
But I felt like I was doing the things that I was doing. Like
So you
I had
felt
to
the
put,
theme.
Yeah, I had to put.
Oh, okay.
So there's like this mammoth, right? There's a mammoth on the
Yeah.
board. He like shows up every once in a while, and you want to kill it because you get a shitload of shit.
Kill that fucking
You get all
thing.
the shit, but you have to play probably like 5 or 6 of your workers there to kill it. So like just the theme of like, are you taking all these people, you're sending them with weapons, put them there and fight the mammoth, and then you get this chunky little mammoth token to put on your board. That all just kind of felt cool. And then the next phase, you might want to take that mammoth token and paint like a picture of it on the worker. It has a name.
Yeah.
All of it just kind of, and then you like move your hut around into different places to try to gather different resources because you can't go too far away from your hut because it's 15,000 BC. You're not fucking driving anything around.
Right.
So it just kind of like it. I really, really appreciated that it felt like what I was doing, and for someone who doesn't really give a shit about that, like I don't really care if I feel like 1800 Barcelona when I'm playing that, but like this one just kind of felt cool. It all came together for like a really cool story. The whole thing was sort of like engaging kind of to watch unfold as people were kind of doing things. The biggest challenge in the game is figuring out this like programming in tandem with like how are you going to do the actions you want to do. And that was cool. Everybody knows I like timing in games. And that was one of them where I'm putting everything out onto the board. How do I bring them back to do the most that they can do and to get what I want done? I think there was a time where all of us, I think I made the biggest mistake at the end. But like, we all made a mistake where we're like, shit, we don't have enough resources to best utilize this guy that we put out, this worker that we put out.
Yeah.
And that was just a nice puzzle because it wasn't just like, oh, I have everything I need. I'm just going to do everything I need. You really needed to plan out your steps. And if somebody took something away from you, you had to go, all right, how else do I get these berries, or how else do I get food? So I really liked all of that. Once you get over the rules teach, the game like does kind of smooth itself out, but there's like, it's a tough teach. Like I had to initially teach the worker placement rules. All right, here's where your worker can go. Here's how they can go there. And then you have to teach what you get when you get them back.
Right.
So you have to like, so I taught like, here's all the worker placement spots. Mm-hmm. You know, if you want to go here, you put one guy there or two guys there. Or, you know, if you want to go here, you have to add a tool or something. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, now let's move on to phase number 2, which is take your workers back. If you had someone here, you then get this and you get those resources. It was just a tougher thing to teach than a regular, like, put a worker out there, get some stuff.
Yep.
Right.
So getting over that was tough, but it does kind of smooth itself out. I really liked the chief and the shaman workers. I always kind of like the attempt of making unique workers.
Yes, I do too.
Games.
I think that's really cool.
Types.
Sometimes they kind of flop. Yeah, different types.
Yeah.
And it's not like I could get 4 chiefs and I was super powered or anything like that. But they were just 2 things that you wanted to think about.
That's one of my favorite things about Obsession.
Yeah, just another
Yeah.
thing to think about and go, okay, this guy's going to get me double something, or the shaman has to go down here. Or you almost feel bad when you don't utilize it. And I kind of like that feeling sometimes. You're like, damn, how I want to maximize it. The map tiles change from game to game because there's just a stack of piles. So it really changes where you want to move and how you want to hunt and all that kind of stuff. So outside of like the rules and the game was long. The rules teach was long to start with. It was probably like a 30 to 40 minute teach.
Okay. 30 minutes
45
not as long as
yeah,
it
I think
sounds,
it might be a
honestly.
little up from maybe up from 30. But that's also like we're teaching it to 3 people who play games regularly. And then we play the 8 round game, which is the full game. I would be happy to play the 6 round game.
Okay, is
cut
this
it down a
why?
little bit.
Because I was going to raise my hand and ask you a question here. The playtime on this says 30 to 120.
So that is
30.
big
They call it
range.
30 per player. Is what they
So
have
if you play it
advertised.
solo, it's 30.
Because it does have a solo version.
Yeah, it does. So I think that's what they advertised. It took up the whole game night. So we were there it was 2.5 hours easy.
With Teach.
No.
Yeah,
We were
okay.
3 we were
Playtime.
3 with Teach, 2.5 for sure, probably a little longer. I don't remember exact. I should start timing myself. But with the rules Teach and just the longevity of the game, I would be happy to just play it at 6. Like the 6 round game, you like start with a few more things. It's sort of like
That's
Prelude
cool.
and Terraforming
Yeah,
Mars.
that's cool.
It's great. I don't see
Start
an
me
issue
off.
with it. I don't think I would get less of an experience playing it through 6
I wonder
rounds.
why they have 2 different. Why do they just pick one?
I don't know. I don't know if
Interesting.
one's called, if they have like, they just want to be like, here's a shorter game.
Right.
Or a variant or something, or people don't like starting with stuff. You just want to be like, here's nothing.
Right.
Get going kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was good. Like the game was good. I don't know if it's going to stand out and be like, this is one of my favorite games of the year.
Sure.
But when I was playing it, I was like, this is fun.
Yeah,
I was
this is
engaged the
working.
whole time. Even though it was long, I still felt like I was like, I'm in the game because I have to watch what everyone's doing and placing things. And then the simultaneous play really helped. I'm glad we weren't taking back workers one at a time.
Yeah.
That would have been miserable. But
Yeah, because
overall,
you have
it
6
was,
each, right? So yeah,
right,
that would
would be
have
like, yeah. But overall, it was good. I don't know if it's great. Maybe in 6 rounds, it gets closer to great because now I can get it done in 2 hours.
Yeah. It's a little too long.
It's decently rated on
That's-
BGG.
I know, it's-
I mean, it's still young in its. It's only got 448 ratings, which
Yeah.
is not nothing.
Right.
No.
I haven't played
And
a lot
it's
of
a
people call it
7.8.
like, people have rated it and call it like it's Stone Age on steroids or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't played Stone Age in so long. I couldn't even make the comparison other than it's prehistoric
Prehistoric
Right.
and worker
Meme.
placement.
and worker placement. I don't know this.
Does it have a cup that smells bad?
Yeah, it's a cup that smells bad. Yeah, yeah. I haven't played that in a really long time, but I think when a theme matches, people are like, well, it's got to be like that game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Totally.
But yeah, I would people should check it out and look for it. If you're like on the fence about it, just like look at it, check it out, read some of the reviews. Yeah, it needs some help with the rule book and maybe a good teach video out there. But yeah, that's Doggerland.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not about dogs, just-
Last episode. Not about dogs. P.S. Last episode, we talked about a bunch of games, actually. Jeff had like a kinked hose worth of games that just all came out from our 5-6 week hiatus. And Natalie and I talked about a couple, and I happened to listen back to our episode, and I'm listening to our game discussion, and I'm listening to a game that the three of us know what I'm talking about, and then I realized I never said the fucking name of the game
Oh, right.
the entire time.
That's right. You sold me that.
It was this
Really?
25th century game that we got called Run, Run, Run. I never said the name.
Really?
The whole time. I was like listening and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is it. I'm like, when am I going to say
He's like, oh my God, I never said
And I'm
the
like,
name.
oh my God, we're talking about what we liked already. I still haven't said it. And then it's over. And I was like, maybe at the end I bring it home and I'm like, so that was Run, Run, Run by 20th Century.
Yeah.
No, never fucking said it. And when you guys, we were all
Yeah.
talking about it. We were like you'd be like, yeah, I've heard about it and I've seen it. And Chad
Yeah.
gave it to me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, even Jeff didn't say it. I'm like,
How
none
did
of
we
us
even
said
know
it.
what we were talking about?
What'd you say?
I was like, how did we even know?
Well, I mean, I talked about the mechanisms and how it plays and stuff, so
Yeah.
you knew what I was talking about.
Right.
And before the episode, we talked about the game, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't actually say the name. So if there was
That's
a
funny.
game last episode that you were like, what the fuck
fuck
is that
is that?
game? It's called Run, Run, Run.
They probably figured it
By
out
25th
by like
century.
the tag thing,
Or they didn't give a shit. Or they probably.
They were like,
I'll
which one
bet
of
what
these
happened
games
was
did they
no,
not
people
say
were
the
listening and
name
they were
of?
like, what game did he say? Who cares?
yeah.
They
didn't
assumed
like
it was
that much
them,
anyway.
so I'm just kind of like self-reporting. So we're doing something a little different this time in the game chat. Natalie and I are, and we have not really played anything new since the last episode, and that's okay. Now, Natalie and I have talked a long time about what are we going to do in an instance where we don't, our fingers are now not to the inside of the vaginal cavity
Whoa.
of the hobby like they used to be, and so.
That's too much.
Our hands are not gripped tightly
No.
around the throbbing,
No.
pulsating. We are not up on all the new games
We're
like
not
we
on the up
used
and
to
up.
be. Okay, I used to just constantly
I never was, but
have my pinky finger shocked up the. I was always clued into what was going on. Jeff has kind of taken that role on, or I should say, Jeff's always been that way too, but he has not stopped.
yeah, his is still stayed
The two of us have kind of
consistent.
been sputtering on fumes with the brand new hotness. Okay. So I've been kind of thinking, I never want to shoehorn discussion of new games in just because we feel we have to. Because if the podcast isn't fun, then I'm not going to do it anymore. And so I have been saying to Natalie, we got to figure out a way to make this section okay and fun for us. And how do we do that? And so this is our first opportunity because a lot of times we'll be like, fuck, the episode's coming up. We haven't played anything. Let's hurry up and get a game played. And that's the worst kind of
Yeah, then you
time
feel
to play a
pressure
game.
and
Yeah,
it's
then
not
you,
as fun.
yeah, I don't like that at all. So we didn't do that this time. So what we did this time, we at Thanksgiving, which we usually always do, we bring a bunch of like partyish games, and Natalie and I kind of run like a game night for the family, quote unquote. Well, this year we did that similar thing. Natalie picked out some games to bring. We brought them over to her cousin's house for Thanksgiving.
Hold on, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you should have done it anyway. I should have kept talking. And it was cool. It was different this year because this year we played with a bunch of people who we don't normally play with. So we
And
go
who
to
we didn't
Natalie's
know.
cousin's house,
Yeah.
and Natalie's cousin invites Natalie's side of the family. She also invites her husband's side of the family. Okay,
Who's like foreigners to you. Like you have no idea.
we don't know
Yeah.
them. I mean, we only know them from sometimes we see them at something like this, but we don't ever interact with them because
They kind of interact
we
with their
hate
family.
those motherfuckers.
No,
No,
they
because-
kind of interact with our family.
Yeah, we kinda do our thing, they do their
we met
thing.
them, but we never really actually talked
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
like,
Like, yeah,
hey,
your
good to
cousin's
see you
cousin on
again.
your other side or something.
Exactly.
Or,
Like
Yeah.
I will literally only see you for 2 hours at this party.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Nice to see you. We don't,
Maybe again next year. Yeah.
So, we're always cordial and stuff, but we typically stick to our own family.
And they've
we
never
just
gotten involved in games either.
never. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So you knew that these people were showing up to Thanksgiving.
We did. We didn't know they were going to partake in games.
Okay, and then so what's going through your brain when you're packing your bag?
We're just honestly
about
what's
my
going through
family.
what's going through my head is Frankie and Kyle aren't even going to be here. Are we even going to play games?
Yeah.
Because that's a big
you
thing.
know-
Like for gamers out there who are like, I'm gonna pack. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait to go to this family thing, and then you pack stuff. Like like in your head, you're like, what's realistic that we're gonna play?
Okay, that's
Is
a good
that
question.
kind of-
Yeah,
you know what I
okay.
mean?
Well-
So typically it's always, we know the crowd is mostly nons, right?
Yeah.
So our mindset is party games.
Yeah.
That's our mindset.
Something
is
really simple, very quick to explain.
that people can talk through, have side conversations, and then still
right.
maybe
if you get a
have
little
good time.
interrupted or you don't, it's nothing you take too seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't bring anything heavier than what I'm going to talk about in a second. But the reason I want to talk about this was, okay, so yesterday was Thanksgiving, right? I'm just going to kind of launch into what I've prepared here. And we, like I said, we always bring a bunch of stuff. There was a bunch of new players who had not played games with us before. And before we started, Natalie's cousin was like, oh man, you guys haven't played games with Ryan before. You're in for a treat. And yeah, I'm like,
The
oh,
pressure's on.
God damn it. I immediately started to sweat. Huge beads of sweat, like that Key and Peele meme. You know,
Yeah.
the pressure was on. Okay, I hadn't really been in this type of situation in a long time where I'm teaching games to a lot of nons. It was exhilarating, I gotta say. I've been jaded lately, and this felt like getting back to one of the things I love the most about the hobby, and that's introducing it to new people.
And see their eyes light up like, what?
There's no, so we started with the gang, okay? As we were putting games together, just goes to your question, Jeff, we were curating, what do we bring? And I'm like, the gang is probably perfect because these people are nons, but I'm guessing they've probably played poker before.
Yeah.
I was fucking wrong about that. That was a mistake. It turns out none of the people who were playing games with knew anything about poker, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it was.
Yeah.
They sort of knew more or less what it was, but they had no idea really how to play.
Yeah,
so
I
it was
think
really
just really confused.
It was a
them.
fucking dud.
Yeah.
And so then now the pressure is mounting on me because
We're like,
we
okay,
played
this
one
didn't-
game and I'm like, this did not go well.
Yeah.
They're not having fun.
Wasn't a hit.
And then I'm like, whose fault was it? Oh, the hot lady's fat husband's fault, of course. Like, fuck, that's who. Despite it not going entirely
I
well.
called you the hot one.
Yeah, you're the hot one.
but be nice
there
to
were
yourself.
a couple guys after we played who were like, you know what? I think I'd really like this game if I played with some poker friends. There was like 2 people that were like, I actually liked that.
I would like that if I wasn't playing with idiots.
Yeah, if everybody know, if more people knew what poker was, because there was like 2 guys that were playing who I think knew
That game's impossible if you don't know how to play
Yeah,
poker.
if you don't know how to play
Yeah,
poker, I mean,
right.
Don't
you can
play that game.
eventually, if you play like 10 times in a row, you'll start to pick up on things.
Borderline
but
not worth your time.
It's almost not
At
worth your time.
Thanksgiving, you're not going to be playing it 10
At
times in a
Thanksgiving,
row.
it was a fucking disaster. Okay.
Off to a good start.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit. But I talked a bit with these 2 guys who were like, you know, I think I would enjoy this with my friends who play poker. He's like, I love poker. I think this would be really fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. He's like, I can see the appeal. So there was like something.
You got something.
So then he was like, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
You know, and there was people who hated the game, and I was like, "Do you guys want to try something else? This next one I have, I think you'll really enjoy." And they were all like, "Fuck yeah, we're in."
Cool.
And so I was like, "Okay, cool." They didn't.
It didn't turn them off.
It didn't turn
Yeah.
them off to like, well, that was fun. Thank
went
you.
like,
I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
go
go
over
stand in
here
the
and
kitchen.
I'm
Yeah.
literally going to look at the corner of the wall for
Yeah.
2 hours and not talk to me. So we then reached for another new hotness, the greatest card game of all time.
Says around.
So it says on the box.
The box, yeah.
That's been out for a couple months, called Flip 7. Everyone liked this one much better.
Awesome. All right.
As simply put, you had to decide nothing other than should I risk taking the next card or stop.
Yeah.
We had 6 or 7 people playing, and it was a fucking blast,
Yeah, it was
dude.
fun.
The best kind of thing that I hadn't experienced in some time was hearing the chatter of the people at one end of the table, Googling the game name and saying
Cool.
things like, wow, this is really cool. I didn't know this kind of thing existed. And wow, I'm really glad he's here teaching me that. It makes it so much
It's
more
only
fun.
$15. Maybe
And
I'll
I,
get
and
it.
I hear that,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
they
this
actually
is
said
this
that
is like
stuff.
really
It's
pumping me
it's
up.
only like this much money.
Yeah, legit, like getting pumped. I started to get a second wind, which is what I'm calling an erection in this story. And it was perfect because people were asking what the game was called. So I just hung the box cover off of it so they could see it whenever they looked up. Flip 7, hung on more like a Flip 4. That was hurtful, but okay, anyway. So it could not ruin the high I was feeling.
about
Introducing
his
people to
penis.
games again. Yeah, my penis, the box is
He was
hanging on
hanging
my
penis.
second wind.
Oh,
He's got a
God.
flip 4 indicating he has a 4-inch wiener. And then they were, anyway.
Exactly. Thank you. It was great, though. We
Thanks.
played until one of the nons ended up winning, and he quickly went onto his phone and bought it. Like right then.
Winner's
He bought it.
bias.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you could tell as they were playing, he was like,
He's having fun.
hit me.
Oh, yeah.
Hit me. Fuck it. Hit me.
Yeah.
And, then and like after the first round, I like gathered the cards and put them in a thing, and he's like, you don't shuffle the cards back in? And I was like, no.
Did you happen to, did you sort out the freezing?
We did it perfectly
Okay.
this
And
time.
Did it feel like a better?
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay. All right,
you know,
cool.
honestly,
I know
it
you
wasn't
liked it.
as well because there's so few of them.
Yeah,
even.
it
there's
came
only
into play, like, one
2,
time.
you know,
Yeah.
or 3 of them, so it didn't happen a ton. But
Yeah.
yes, we did it, and I
Yeah.
was like, this
Okay.
definitely feels
And we
better.
only played up to 100, so
'Cause-
we only played like 3 rounds.
and
Sure.
it worked this time where there was one girl who's kicking ass, and this guy was like, no.
No.
You're
and then
done.
you're like, okay, that
Same
now
with
that
the
interaction
flip
makes
3.
sense.
It was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's got She got a 12 and an 11 there.
Yeah.
Flip 3 now.
Yep.
And it's like,
And
oh,
it
And if you
out for
don't,
her.
and then you're like, yes.
it worked out for her.
You don't
It was like
bust, you
7,
just,
8,
like, feel
9.
great.
It's like, oh my God, she just got like 60 points. So after that, we went to an old standby. Just one. And I was reminded why this game is a Gamecasters essential. With a new group, there's almost nothing better as a party game with nons than just one.
Yeah.
They had a fucking blast with this and really got into it, and I started feeling feelings I hadn't felt in a long feeling time. Watching a group of nons get so into a game that they would have never figured out existed as long as they live is a feeling that's unmatched and almost impossible to beat. It's a high like no other. I mean, I'd rather come. Of course, right? But that's pretty tough to beat this feeling.
Yeah.
Afterwards, we played Insider over and over and over and over and over and over. And this is the main thing I wanted to talk about here, which you can probably tell as I've been saying it over. The feeling of introducing people to the hobby and it working. Everyone said so many nice things to me throughout that really made me feel good. But I think the best thing was them purchasing them for themselves. A few of the people wrote down the names of all the games we played and wanted to legit buy them, and some of them they did buy. They thanked me profusely for teaching and running the games after it was over, and it was like the best fucking feeling. They were like, we should be paying you, for just doing all that, because it was like we were just running a party for 2 hours just playing games, and everyone was legitimately excited and laughing.
My cousin has said in the past years, like at Thanksgiving, because he always like, he sometimes plays, but he'll mostly just like run it for everybody. And she's like, every family needs a Ryan.
Well, so that brings me to my next point. I just fucking love hosting.
Yeah.
It speaks to Nerdfest. It speaks to this podcast. It speaks to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's part of it. I felt like it was like my show that I was in charge of for their fun.
Yeah.
And seeing it pay off was like a little social orgasm I got to have in front of everyone. It was super socially erotic. And we all took part. Men, women, the elderly. It was disgusting and gross and hot and nasty and all for me. And I loved that. And I thought that was so much fucking fun. What did you think about that, Natalie, yesterday? Well, didn't it feel like
it was very
almost
fun.
Like old game nights we used to have at work?
Yeah. And like we said, there were a couple of people were my family, but most of the people playing were not, my family. They're my cousin's husband's family, and so like we didn't really know them, and so it was kind of felt like we got to like connect with them and like hang out with them and get to know them.
I feel like next year when we see them, we'll be like, who are you?
Right.
No,
What's your
they'll
name
be ready
again?
for it.
Yeah.
No.
They'll be like, oh man, games again.
Yeah, exactly. And
Thanksgiving sucks, but at least I'll play some games.
yeah.
Fuck Thanksgiving
I was
food.
pretty drunk.
Natalie was so drunk.
Really
this is amazing.
drunk.
She was so
I don't even think I
drunk.
played Insider. I don't know where I went, but I wasn't even playing that game.
I played Insider when we got home. Hey. We were in the car on the way back, and I was just chatting with her, and she was just like, I know, I'm so sorry, I'm drunk. And I'm like, why are you saying that? It's
Why
fine.
are you yelling?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
He's like, I'm not like annoyed
I'm
with
not.
you.
You're being fine. I didn't even really realize you're. Oh, I'm so drunk. I was like, oh my god, okay.
Well, my dad just kept filling up my wine glass.
Yeah, her dad played. It was awesome.
Yeah.
He was the Insider like 4 times in a row. And it was one time. So, okay, you're playing Insider, and the timer's ticking down, right?
Yep.
And it's almost empty. And I'm running the game, and I'm seeing everyone's floundering. And so I do sometimes what we say, and I'm like, Insider, you better help.
Yeah, better help.
And now his dad's like, oh, okay. Oh. And we all,
let me help, yeah.
But it's great because everybody erupts in laughter,
Yeah.
like
no
oh,
one cares.
damn
It's
it.
just funny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a memory. It's
That's the
funny.
kind of stuff that you love.
Okay.
Jeff, do you have is that one of the things you like about hosting games at school?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
seeing
When
kids
Like suddenly
turn
they're like,
into
oh.
gamer. Like, what is
yeah,
this?
when we were in like the heyday of Board Game Club, that was really cool. I've seen some of the students that have graduated since then. That group that like gave me that wooden meeple and
Yes,
played
how
games
cool
for
is
4
that?
years and that kind of stuff. They brought those games to college to show people. And
Yeah.
I have the sibling of one of the students that played. I have him right now. And I asked him, because I gave him a bunch of games when he graduated. I was like, I just have a bunch. I'm like, just take some. And I'm like, do you ever play games? He's like, no, we just play when his brother comes back and he brings games
so his
back.
brother's still into it.
So it's cool that I saw one at like RAW like a year after or something, buying a game, like our local game store.
Oh, cool. One of your students.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's cool that again, they were able to like see something that they probably would have never ever experienced or done or looked up. They would have just assumed it's Candyland, it's Monopoly, maybe
Right, Cards Against
Catan, right? That
Humanity.
there wasn't
Yeah.
to kind of open their eyes to this hobby. and then have them love it is cool.
They'll remember you forever for that.
Just for board
totally.
games.
And
Yeah.
that's the kind of, I mean, what is it? What, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but what's better than that? What feels better
Yeah.
than that?
It's
that
cool.
even feel like I bet it's so fun at college too, because like, you know, not everybody's into going to the bar and
Right.
like
Not everybody can
partying.
just fuck.
Yeah.
You know, but like that's something like
Should be.
super fun
They
to
should.
like do to hang out with your friends up
Yeah,
there.
they would say
Yeah.
they would sit around their dorm. I don't know if they're drinking or not, but whatever. They're sitting around their dorm and they're playing the Resistance
Yep.
like nonstop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because they were obsessed with the Resistance and the Chameleon and those
the
social
beginning.
deduction games.
Yeah.
And that's how you get people in, especially like that age group, the 18-year-olds, 19-year-old. They want to play social deduction games. They want to talk to you and have fun.
Yeah.
They like played the shit out. I think they bought 2 copies of the Resistance or Avalon after because they just kept ruining it because they were having so much fun.
Didn't some kids from your original club come to the first big Nerd Fest?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they came to the
right.
first one.
Did
Yeah.
they bring you something? Or did they just show up? And
I
it
think
was just
they
cool that they
up.
showed up.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they just showed up. Yeah, there was 2 or 3 of
Yeah,
them,
I
and one of
remember
them is our friend Eric Nelson's
Yeah.
daughter, and then their friends came. So that was really cool.
That's so awesome.
It is
Yeah,
super
it was
cool.
just it's a nice memory and a cool thing to do. I think with people and almost 4 people, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, for some reason, getting people into the hobby, watching like it's almost like a way to relive your first time getting into the hobby through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, seeing them get excited, it's like, I remember when that was me.
Right.
And this, how cool
Yeah.
that you get to experience it now.
Right.
I love
It is
that
very exciting.
feeling.
Like the one guy who was like sitting next to me, he was like looking up just one on Amazon and he's like, is it this one? You know, he's like, oh, it's only $10. And you know, and I was just like, oh, that's really cool. And then it makes you kind of want to be like, well, what can I show him next
Yeah,
to get him
yeah.
excited,
right.
even more
We were gonna
excited?
play Sausage Sizzle next, but time ran
Yeah.
out, you know.
Yeah.
And there was like, so we played 2 brand new and 2 tried and true.
Yeah.
And you know they all really worked. The gang didn't work so much.
But that was for like a kind of a specific
More of a
reason.
specific reason. Yeah, right. It hooked them enough that they were like, "Well, that was interesting. What else do you have?"
Right.
Do you think either of those games, the gang or Flip 7, will become a tried and true game
Flip set. I mean, for that group,
for from now on? Because every time when you go to these events, you bring just one, no matter
Yeah,
what.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you think either of those games will be a permanent bag game for that?
yeah. God, I would like to say both of them. For that specific group, I probably won't bring the gang back.
Flip
but
7 for
Flip
sure.
7
I think
is
so.
like it's so. I
So
feel like
simple.
Flip 7 is. It's like, have you played blackjack? Do you understand the hit me
Yeah,
kind of
pushing your
concept
luck.
and pushing your luck? Rather, you
Right.
know that like that they get that part of
Right.
it, you know, and so then it's like that's a perfect gateway
Yeah.
to like. So one of the hurdles that I feel like everybody runs into when they're playing with nons, and we've talked about this, Jeff, so many times, is, and I remember this happening with Natalie when I introduced her to the hobby. Everyone's afraid of looking stupid. And so when we sat down to play games, there was a bunch of people that were like, I'm just going to watch because I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, I'm not
You
a
know?
gamer. I don't know
Yeah.
how to
I
do
don't
that.
understand.
I'm not gonna know what to
and
do.
me saying to them, listen, this is not some under lock
That
and
means
key
nothing.
thing. This is anybody can get. Yeah, that doesn't. That's
they
just
need to
like
see it happen.
sure.
Right.
So we played the gang, and it was like, okay, I see that. You know, I don't understand the game of poker, but all you're doing is just taking a chip and trying to get an order. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, do you have anything that's kind of like that? And I'm like, every game I brought is going to be simpler than that.
Right.
Right.
Everything. I'm like, just sit
'Cause it doesn't
down
have
and
poker,
play
yeah.
this one. I'm like, you're going to feel kind of like a blackjack feel. If you know blackjack, you're going to tell me to hit you or you're going to stay. I'm like, that's the mechanism. That's all. That's literally the only thing you're going to do.
Your mouth.
You don't have to. All you have to
stay.
Right. And I'm like, I'm going to give you a number, and then if you get the same number, you're out. If you don't, you can stay in and do it again.
Just for now.
It's that simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
you're not
take
out forever.
one turn. Yeah,
Just
you're just
for-
out
just
for
for a
one
couple
round.
minutes.
That was actually another thing that kind of confused people. So this one girl had 5 cards in front of her. She had like 12, 10, 7, 8, you know, like 4. And I'm like, that's really good. And she's like, should I hit? And I'm like, you might want to stay. And she's like, but you said if 7 cards come out, then it ends. And I'm like, just this round.
Yeah.
I'm like, but your odds, you have really high cards. Your odds that you're going to get one of those are high. And if you get one of those, you have 0.
But you should hit.
And she's like, and then I'm out forever. And I'm like, no.
Your
I'm like,
points will-
let's just do
yeah,
this.
rack up.
Stay. Just stay. And she's like, okay, I stay. And she's like, so I'm out. I'm like, but watch this. And there was only one more person in the round, and they busted. I'm like, round's over. You get those points, and now we're gonna go again.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. whoa, you're playing,
Yeah,
you know,
like
and
at
so
the
it was
click.
like, yeah, it's like no matter how much you explain it, there's a roadblock in people's minds.
Yeah.
You know, because it's almost like they don't think it really is that simple.
Yeah.
And I think that's my favorite thing. I remember that was my favorite thing introducing Natalie was when she got that mindset of like, oh, it really is just that simple. Like we're playing, what's the game that you and me played, Natalie?
Splendor?
We're playing Splendor, and you're playing and you're like, oh, it really is that. It's just this. That's all it is I just get that tile with these cards I have. Oh, okay.
And then what's cool about it is the hobby is then the next level is just a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
now you understand.
You
like,
understand that.
rules and the cadence of games.
Let's
and things
add
like
a
that.
little depth.
Here's a little more and a little more and a little more, and that's.
But I think
fun about it.
that might be one of the things I love as well as watching these people who are on the outskirts, interested enough to watch to see, and then be like, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
And they sit down and then they win.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the hobby. You're living
Yeah.
the hobby. Because this one girl was like, so like, are these just like the nothing games you play, you know, with like nobody's like us? And I was like, no, I play these with all my best friends.
Yeah.
I'm like,
fun.
there's certainly a million different types of games out there, but these ones I would bring to a party with my best friends in
Every
the
event.
same setting.
Right.
You know,
That
I'm
was
not
always
these
fun.
aren't dumbed down games for the plebes.
No, right.
You know, these are just the games we love that you can like
That
no
we
matter
feel
what
like
game we
anybody would
play,
think is fun.
you can play them. It's
Yeah.
just these are the best games for this group.
Yeah.
And so we had a great time doing that, and it was something I
Yeah.
haven't experienced in a number of years, and I'm really happy
And
that
I bet
it
you
happened.
they showed up to Thanksgiving just thinking, oh, we're just gonna have some small talk with some people,
Right. And they had
then
a fucking blast.
we ended up doing that, and it's cool to think they probably went home like, whoa, that was so fun and unexpected.
Wait to play. The one guy came up to me and he was like, I want you to know I bought some of these games and I can't wait to show them to my friends.
Yeah, he gets to be that. He gets to be
Yeah.
you next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm spreading the love here. I'm like really, he was like genuinely like filled with like I'm excited
cool.
for these to come in the mail and play them again. And I was really happy about that. And that made me super happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was our game day at
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
Day.
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day. What other game you got, Jeff?
I have a game called Pampero.
Pampero. Oh
The
yeah, I know this
history
one.
of Pampero is that not the actual city, but Ryan backed this game, and he kickstarted it, I think.
I did.
The history
And
of this
it showed
copy.
up here at
Yep.
Ryan's house.
Yep.
And then he gave it to Joe. And then we played it.
So Jeff
I'm
played.
reviewing Ryan's copy of Pampero.
Really quick background. It showed up. And again, Natalie and I are kind of in the sputtering on fumes here for like
Especially some
big
big
games. And
game
I was
like
like, man,
that.
this is a big game.
But 2 years ago when you backed it, you were in a different
yeah.
state,
Well,
right?
also, it wasn't like I wasn't like, fuck this game. I was just like, I legitimately don't see myself playing this anytime soon. And I knew that Joe didn't back it because when I got it, he was like, oh, you got Pampero, I want to play it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I was originally like, I'll sell it to you. And, you know, he was like, well, it's not really in the cards for me right now. And I was like, what am I doing? It's Joe. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jeff, just give it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to play it. But it is really funny now that just reviewing my copy of this game that I never played that he did.
That is funny.
So tell us about Pampero, Jeff.
So it's like an economic game. It's a little brain burny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're chilling in Uruguay.
Oh, of course, as
What
one
you're
does.
doing, making renewable energy.
Natalie, what continent is Uruguay in?
Pick one. There's like 7. It's not Antarctica or Australia. Don't pick those 2.
You can do it. It's not
Where
North.
does it
It's
sound,
not North
where
America.
Does it sound like
Africa.
Okay. What else though could it be? Instead
Like, if it wasn't that, like
if it wasn't Africa,
If that was
what
your
would it-
first guess, but
yeah,
just pick
where
another
else
one
would it be?
instead.
You think?
Like that was your
South
practice run.
America.
All right.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Good
Yeah,
job.
nailed
Got
it.
on the first try.
Yeah, the first try. The first one was a practice swing. You know, in golf when you do your practice.
Yeah, this is a
swing.
you took a mulligan.
That one wasn't a great.
Took a
Let's straighten it up here.
Geography is not my strong suit.
So
That's funny.
the board that you lay out, the big main board, is this giant kind of map of Uruguay, and it's boring. It's not. There's nothing like. It's actually an Ian O'Toole
I was
artwork.
like Ian O'Toole, right?
It's like when you look at it, you wouldn't be like, "Wow, this is beautiful."
The box cover is sweet though. I like
the box cover is great. The
Yeah.
player board is beautiful. The board is essentially just a map of Uruguay with different regions kind of separating them, and then the icons within the region. But it doesn't stand out as being like, this is a beautiful board. Some On Mars is a beautiful board,
Yeah.
or Innovations is a beautiful board. This one I don't feel like is beautiful. probably because it needs to be more functional or whatever, right?
True. I gotta say, I do like the way it looks. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
Is this how it looks?
Yeah,
I do like that.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
The player boards and the bigger the sideboards, like
You're right,
those
it's
are
not
all a
as
lot cooler.
lush.
Yeah. So
But I do like
that's
it.
just me. That's just me kind of nitpicking.
It's
later.
wow, it's very Ian O'Toole, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah,
always
it's-
got that. What's like a pastel-y
Yeah.
kind of a palette.
Yeah, you would look
know?
at it and be like, it's him.
Yeah,
for
right.
sure.
You could tell instantly it's him.
So the main like mechanism in this is like a hand management sort of thing. Action selection through managing cards in your hand.
Okay.
So you start with a hand of cards that have your actions on them. There's 5, 6 kind of main actions that you can take, and you choose a card and then you place that card onto one of your slots on your player board.
Okay.
There's like a top row and a bottom row, and that slot on your player board tells you the cost of that action that you take. And it also tells you the requirements that you need and where you can do that action. So if Ryan's looking at the player board, if you slot in the top one, it says like A. So you would be doing that action in spot A, and it would cost $10.
I see.
If you slid that over, like just slide it over barely.
Yeah, just
slide it over, slide it. It would be you could do something in region B that would cost you $12, right? So it just kind of tells you the information for the actions. The card
I see.
just has the action on it. Where you place it dictates the requirements and the costs. Very cool
that's
system.
interesting.
Love the system. I thought
Wow.
that was my
That's
favorite part
really
of the
cool.
whole game. The actions basically are doing this renewable energy, building electric towers, wind farms, fulfilling contracts, moving up on these tracks to sort of earn money. You add these bulldozers, so that's where you can build things for like construction, and probably some other stuff because it's a heavy game that you have to do. This is a remember how Natalie was like, "You like games with points?"
Yeah.
Yes, last episode.
Yeah, we were like,
Do you remember
what
that,
is
Natalie?
happening?
That
You
was
were
a
like,
joke.
you were like, guys, games with points are cool, right?
point. We're like,
I know.
yeah,
I just didn't get
You
it.
guys didn't
stupidly.
get it, and
No.
it really fell flat.
I'm sorry. It was.
But
I just
this is
didn't
not a game with points because the most money wins.
Oh,
So in true
points, money,
economic,
same thing.
it pretty much is.
Yeah.
In
Money's
true,
points.
The
yeah.
points are called money.
Yes. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. It's a 1-to-1 at the end.
1-to-1.
Yeah.
Is it really?
No. It just says most money. No, it just says most
You don't
money.
actually turn them into points.
don't actually
That'd be
turn them into
hilarious,
points.
though. Just collect money the whole game.
Just
At the
collect money.
end, convert them to points. 1 to
And then
1.
whoever gets the most points. The tiebreaker is nothing. Most points. So you need the most money. This at first was a tough teach. I didn't teach it, thankfully. I'm not saying that it was tough for Joe to specifically teach, but it's a heavy economic
Any
game.
game like that probably is tough.
Yeah, understanding the ins and outs of a heavy game and how the economy of this game works is a hard thing to just teach. You almost have to feel it. But like in Doggerland, it smooths out when you're a couple rounds in. You sort of get the pace of the game. Okay, I understand how this works and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was the card play. Choosing the actions, what slot to go in was cool.
That looks cool.
There's also like you only have a certain amount of cards. An action that you can take is essentially a reset.
Yeah.
In each round, you only get 3 actions, so you can basically play 3 cards. But their cards stay out there between the rounds, except one. But they stay out there. So if on my first round I play 3 cards, I take one back. My next round I'm playing 3 more cards. I'm running out of cards essentially. So at some point you want to take your cards back, but you want to do that at the right time. You also just like if you could somehow just not do it because the more cards you play to the rows, the cheaper they get.
Sure.
So you
don't want to.
You don't really
reclaim.
want to pass.
Yeah.
And you can get new cards through the game, so you want to try to do that. But there's just a time where you have to do it. And you might just be like, damn, Bill got in a situation where he passed, and then when he took his cards back, he was like limited with money because now the actions are more expensive because he's now back at the beginning of the row. So it's just like understanding all of that was tough. It was like a puzzle. It was challenging, but it was also like rewarding when you felt like you're like I'm fucking cruising.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I get
Now
it.
it's $3.
But all these other idiots are doing it. Yep. And like in economic games, there is that process, but there's also a feeling in some of these games that I've noticed where you can feel like you're falling behind. Money's just right out there. You can see it like, oh boy, I'm not getting this.
Yeah.
And in good economic games like this, or what, like is Brass an economic game? Pipeline. There's not a catch up. mechanism in a lot of
Yeah.
economic games.
Yeah,
If you get your
If you
engine
fall,
going,
you can fall behind on the first turn and be
if-
dead.
Yeah, if you're humming,
18xx games are
you're
like
just
that.
going to keep going, right? 'Cause it's like money builds on money in these games. So there's both sides of that where you can feel like you're cruising and you get it, or you can feel like, fuck, I'm behind. You know, Bill had to take a loan. He was the only one to take a loan. Dave felt he was like, I'm just behind. He's like, I just don't understand the cadence of it.
Ben's talked about that with Clinic, right?
Yeah, and Clinic is another one where you just look and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And you just might just
I could just
might
be.
not
I'm just
work.
completely screwed now.
Yeah, and
my
that
game's
can
ruined.
suck. And that's
Good
it's
feeling.
not the game's fault. It's just that's an economic kind of game. It's not like, oh, I'm in
sometimes it
last
goes
place,
that
so I get an
way.
extra $3.
Yeah,
Like, no,
right.
you're just sorry.
You're just fucked.
Yeah, capitalism. Right? You're just doomed.
Right.
So once I figured out how it all connects, I really did have fun. I enjoyed it. I destroyed everyone, so that was something.
Nice.
I do think that Pampero has some room for growth.
Okay.
For some,
Is this a first time designer?
I
wonder?
think so.
I've never heard of him. Julian Pombo.
Pampero. Julian Pampero.
He did Mercado de Lisboa too.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
There are some parts in this game that I feel like were there for just complexity's sake that took away from the flow of the game.
Oh my God, look at his face.
Why is he so angry?
He looks like he means business here.
I'm going to talk about him in a second because he made a comment on my
Ooh, so
Instagram
serious.
post.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bad comment.
Which is
it
weird.
this kind of a
Does he
face
look
comment?
angry?
Yeah, it is that kind of a face comment.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Which is strange. I didn't know if I was going to talk about it, but I'm fuck it.
I'm going to go to it now. Yeah, keep going.
So I feel like there was just parts of the game that were complicated for no reason other than to just be complicated. Like there was this
Okay.
turn order thing. Like if you pass, you move down on this turn order, which in my brain would be like, okay, the person that passed first gets to go first.
Yeah.
Next round or whatever. But it's like, no, they move down. But if somebody else moves down later, they get to go. But you move forward on this other track first. And it's like that track at the bottom doesn't matter because you don't score. It was just, it didn't need to be like that to make the game still what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like objectives, right? So the objectives change every single game, which is great and just keeps the game fresh and like replayability is high. I'm like, okay, that's great. The weird thing is the map on the board, and this is just a feeling, makes you feel like you want to do something. There are these three areas of the board. There's A, B, and C. The area in C is like high reward, high payouts, big point area.
Yeah.
To me, when you explain that and you look at the board, you're like, I want to get there. None of our objectives were really related to C. So it was just a weird feeling that it was like, okay, I want to build more.
But it also kind of
But I also didn't need to. So I was
Yeah.
taking turns at the end of the game just taking this battery resource because that was getting me more points than doing anything else in the game that seemed like, it just seemed like I was like, I'm not building toward anything anymore. I'm just taking this to get my 3 points because it's more than anything else.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, just the nature of the objectives, but it didn't feel like it was a strange feeling, if that makes any sense. I will play it again. Like I think some of the things are fixed with an expansion, but again, I'm not. That's just adding
the
more
weight on this?
stuff. 3.7.
3.78.
How long?
I
did
think,
it
or maybe
take
I'm
you?
wrong. Did it say 3.7?
It took us the game night.
Yeah.
So yeah,
kinda
3
like
hours.
Doggerland.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was probably shorter than Doggerland. No, it was
Yeah,
probably longer than
3.78.
Doggerland. I mean. It was longer than Doggerland, but
Yeah. So you played some big game.
played some big games recently. And there's also one thing in this game that people are pointing out on comments that are, again, getting kind of like pushed aside or not addressed by design team. There's a way you can just have unlimited money.
Oh, no. Really?
And it's the nature of the players for sure. But okay, let's just say the three of us are playing.
Okay.
Okay. One of the biggest things you want to do in this game is build stuff, wind towers and other shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have your construction zone, if you have your bulldozer in that zone, you can build in that zone. If you don't have it and somebody else does, you can pay that person to use their bulldozer to build in that zone. Okay.
Yeah.
If the three of us were playing, Natalie could take her turn, which it seems like has happened through many games that people have played.
Okay.
Natalie could take her turn and say, I want to build in zone A. I'm going to pay Jeff $15 to take that action.
Right.
She pays me $15. I then go, I want to build in zone A. I'm going to pay Natalie $15.
Oh, so you're just trading it back and forth.
And you just trade money back. And then Ryan on his turn goes, okay, and Ryan just pays the bank because he has a thing there. Now, Natalie and I have the exact same amount of starting money, and Ryan's down $15.
Right.
We've all done the exact same thing.
Wow.
So if we were playing this game and we were looking and go, Ryan has a little too much money, let's just fuck him. We could fuck him, and then we could play the game where we just pass money back and forth.
That's ew. I don't like that.
I know, and there's something that
People
could be
have done that?
People are saying like, in a 3 or 4 player game, you could just cut 2 people out and just make it about the 2 of you.
Did you find this to happen when in your play?
I said it the first second.
Go around? Really?
Dave was first. He took a turn. Bill took a turn. He was like, I'm going to build a thing. I'm like, Bill, you should pay me, and then I'll pay you. I said it jokingly. We never did it throughout the game, but then when I went on and sort of read and researched the game,
I said that.
People are like, you can just do this, and they've played with people who have just done this.
And I'm sure
Most
it's
of the
not
time,
fun.
Nobody's talking about it like it's a broken mechanism?
That people are.
Oh, okay.
But I think some people have either house ruled it or have said like, all right, you can only build where you are, and that kind of fixes it.
Maybe he'll put like some sort of FAQ out or something.
I hope so, but he also responded to that comment and just said, well, don't play with people like that.
Yeah.
And it's
well, after reading what he said on your post, I don't expect much.
So I
from
made
him.
a post
Talk
that I
about
thought
this.
was a normal post for a game. Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't I literally said what I said here. This is I'm reading kind of my post.
Yeah.
Which I like the game. I want
Well, I
to
can't
play
wait
the
to give
game
my
again.
take on it. Yeah.
But the game is over a 3.5. It's a 3.7 something.
378.
So my lead
it's
in,
like mid-heavy.
My lead in to try to get people to engage with the post, which doesn't ever fucking work, was like, what's the heaviest game you've played lately? That's it.
Yeah.
At the only thing this designer posted in my post was, this game is not heavy.
Okay.
So, all right. Put yourself in.
Why would
you're
they
you're
say
the
that?
designer of a game. Okay. This is really his first like Mercado de Lisboa did not do well.
No.
And he
This
wasn't the
game
lead.
did do well.
He wasn't the lead designer on that. Vital Lacerda was the lead designer
Right.
on that. Pampero is his game. I think it's like his first game, and it's doing pretty well.
And it's doing
got
well.
Ian O'Toole. It's
Yep.
beautiful. It's a good game. He sees somebody on Instagram post about it, and not just post about it, because Jeff doesn't just post about it. Jeff always does a format where he'll ask a question, and then he'll talk in a format about, here's what the game's like, and then he gives his thoughts
what I
on the
thought.
game in paragraph 2. And so he took his time to write all that stuff. When I talk about it like you're not here. Imagine you are a designer seeing that. Wouldn't you be like, holy shit, this is awesome.
that.
Look
Yeah,
at these
that's
pictures.
great.
And then he follows it up and backs it up with like 7 to 10, like, wow, these are great looking pictures that he took of my game. And instead of saying like, thank you so much for taking your time to play this and engage in, in discussion around my game. Instead, all he can say is, this game isn't heavy.
Yeah, to tell me that it's not heavy. And not like the correct response, if you're offended, the correct human response is, I understand, don't worry, the more you play, the more it'll smooth
Yeah, it'll
out.
feel less heavy.
I hear that. Just play a little more.
All
it'll
you did
smooth
though
out.
was call it a brain burner. You didn't say like,
No.
I couldn't figure this fucking game out. It's too
I
heavy
didn't-
for me.
Yeah, I didn't say it was
This is
too
too
heavy.
much. I mean, it's not okay. Also, saying this is not a heavy game is extremely subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're a board game designer in the board game hobby.
And if maybe it's not heavy to you,
3.78 is
you
not
made
is
it.
not.
Yeah. You
I
put
mean,
it
when
1,000
your best friend
times.
is Vital Lacerda, okay, nothing's heavy, right? But I mean, 3.78 is heavy enough that it can be in a discussion of, hey, what's the heaviest game you've played lately? For me, it was this.
Yeah.
That Jeff isn't even necessarily. You're not even saying this game is is a heavy game.
That could
You're
be the
saying,
headline for
this
Sausage
is the
Sizzle.
heaviest game I've played.
Yeah.
In the last whatever.
It was.
I'm so turned off to this designer based on that comment, because maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's also like a cultural thing. I don't know how the Uruguayans are.
Well, that's that's the thing I was gonna say is like,
He probably didn't mean any offense by it.
he probably
Like,
didn't. He says like, this is not a heavy game, period. And you could interpret that as rude, or maybe to him, he's just like, I'm just saying this. And
Yeah,
it doesn't,
what
he's
does
not
that
intending
comment
it to
do?
be.
What is he
I
intending?
agree,
Right.
but like some people are like that. Like,
I know.
They don't intend it to be rude, but it can very easily, especially in
It's a
text.
strange thing.
In text, when you don't know what their intention is at all.
I tagged no one in that post. I don't even know if I tagged Ape Games, which is their game.
Yeah.
You can check.
He found it anyway.
Yeah, he still. So it's not like I
interesting.
specifically tagged him.
yeah.
Because he's not.
I wonder if he can search for Pampero.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
and I
and
think
see
one of the
posts.
Probably.
hashtags was like Pampero game.
But
right?
like, that's not the way you
It's
get
just
your
weird. It was a weird
you ingratiate
interaction.
It is
yourself.
very weird.
And then seeing his responses to some of the complaints or critiques
And then
on
seeing
the
his
forums.
evil villain
and then
Doofenshmirtz
I'm
picture.
like, I don't love that.
You're
I'm like, I
like,
don't love how you responded to that guy.
Don't like him. Don't like him. Don't like
So-
him. Julian Pombo
Yeah.
Incorporated.
Yeah, here comes our He's gonna listen. Now he's gonna find the show.
He's gonna find the show and be
I was
like,
Here comes
be
our
careful.
1-star rating on Apple Podcasts.
well,
It
I'll
pops up here.
1-star Pampero.
Yeah,
brah.
boom. What do you think about
I
that?
backed it and bought your game, man.
Fun
I don't like the way
fact.
you talk to my boy. That's my
Yeah.
fucking boy.
What?
Fuck that.
Let me tell
Be
me
nicer.
if this surprised me. And again, I'm not a geography person, so maybe I'm just like crazy. But like, I looked up how long a direct flight from Detroit to Uruguay is, and it's longer than from here to Tokyo.
Wow. Well,
Would you have expected that?
no, I would not have expected that.
No.
However, I guess if you're
we are in the
going
north.
you're going to the left across the country. If you were going to the right, it would have. If you were going east, it would probably take you a fuck ton longer time to get to Japan. But you go west to get there. So it's definitely that's still kind of mind blowing
It's funny
because you're just
like you
like
have to basically go like across the whole United States because we're not on the East Coast, but we're pretty east in general.
go east, my boy.
And then
cut it in half,
across
we're
the
east.
ocean, but I guess also like
Why did you look up a direct flight from Detroit to Uruguay?
Well, I just looked up Uruguay to see where it was, and then it just happened to be like 14 and a half hour flight, and I was like, really?
She's turned on by the way he talked
How
to you.
long was
She's
it?
like,
Yeah.
ooh, God, I kind of
Okay.
like that.
No, this was at the
to you, man.
beginning. This is before that.
Ryan doesn't
I was just like, that's longer away. I would have.
That is weird.
Have thought that.
I will say, I think it's cool that there is a board game. I mean, how many board games are? Maybe I'm showing my ignorance here. How many South American, themed board games?
I looked up.
do you
There was
know
a
of?
few.
I can see there's maybe some Brazilian.
Uruguayan games.
Really,
If
specifically
you click-
Uruguay.
If you scroll down a little, if you go to the overview on Board Game Geek, there is a where it says like themes or mechanisms or something here where it says
is there like Uruguayan?
yeah, there's
something?
like a Uruguay button.
country Uruguay.
Yeah, country, and there's a few. So I did like randomly look
Oh,
at that.
Hacienda is Uruguay. El Gaucho. Oh, Pampero.
Pampero. I mean, the game was good. Like I played it, and as I destroyed everyone, I was like, "This is a good game."
This is awesome.
I liked a lot of it. Like when I was doing it, when I started to figure it out, I was like, "This is good." I like the card play is cool, and then
There's a Uruguayan game called Paraguay.
Oh, okay.
That's like, I'm going to look up the United States games. Here's
Yeah.
a game called Canada.
Close.
I do not like the way he talked to you.
Me either. I thought that was weird. So if he's out there and is going to hunt this podcast down like he did my Instagram post,
He can.
and you're listening, let's clear the air.
You don't have a friend
Let's-
in me.
Let's clear the air. Okay, talk to me. Let's
hear
clear
your
this
side.
out.
Yeah, what was your intent of saying this is not a heavy
Yeah, were you
game?
trying to engage in
browbeating my
conversation
boy
to be like, this
here?
isn't heavy?
Or were you really just, is that how you people in Uruguay are polite? That's
Yeah,
just a
it's like,
polite
it's not
comment
heavy.
from someone in Uruguay.
Yeah.
Don't care. I'm just going to
Okay.
look at it like it's a bad thing. You got something else, I think, Jeff,
Yeah,
don't you?
we played a game right before the show.
Right
We
before.
played a game from Pandasaurus called Pixies.
Possibly.
Possibly. Pixies. Like
Pixies.
Pixies. Pixies.
like Pixie
Pixies.
sticks,
Pixie
Like
sticks.
Pixies sticks.
but really about fairy. No, they're
Pixies.
not even
They're
fairies.
pixies.
Woodland creatures
woodland-
or something. Pixie creatures.
Yeah,
Let me look up
the art is very
The
interesting.
art is so cool. Let's just start with that. The art in Pixies is awesome. It is almost like if you collected shit from a forest and you made it into tiny
right,
creatures.
leaves and pine cones and
yeah,
sticks.
if you were like, I want to
You're
make
making
this.
anthropomorphic creatures out
Yeah.
of woodland
Yeah, like
stuff.
I have an acorn, 3 sticks, and a leaf. How can I make it look like a tiny mouse or something? You know, it's
Yeah,
like how
a
can I make it
little
look like a little
creature.
creature wearing a hat? And they did that, and
Right.
it's super
It
cool
is
and unique.
cute.
The cover is adorable with this tiny acorn man holding a flower.
It's like
kinda
it looks
reminds
like
you-
the box looks smaller than the cards somehow.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
it's
the
like
box
a,
is
it's like
teeny
a
tiny.
yeah, it's like
Teeny
a really
tiny.
weird optical illusion. You take the cards out of the box and you're like, these don't fit in there.
Yeah.
How's that even happen?
It's a box size like a sea salt and paper
Yep.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's in that tiny box, put in your pocket.
Extremely tiny box.
Sort of size. There's only 70 cards in the game. So, in Pixies, there are cards that are one of 4 colors, and then there's a wild, and there are numbered 1 through 9. On the cards, they're like swirlies and X's and scoring information and stuff like that. And play goes around, and each person in every, I guess they're rounds, takes one of the available cards and places it into their imaginary 3x3 grid based on whatever number they choose. So the top left is number 1 and the bottom right is number 9. So it goes like 1, 2, 3, and then underneath the 1 you have 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. So if you draft a 6, you have to put it in the spot that a 6 would go. Who knows? It makes sense to you.
Sure does.
You already played it.
I played it. Makes sense to me. Nailed it.
And if a player
This
chooses,
is not a heavy game.
Yeah, a player chooses a card they've already taken. They choose to flip over one of those cards, which is called like validating the card, and then that card will score. Play continues until one person has filled up their grid of cards, either face up or face down. And then you score. And you score your validated cards. So if a card has a card underneath it, it gets the points on the face of it. If it doesn't, it just scores whatever the scoring condition would be on it. There's swirlies, and then there's largest connected areas and other ways they score. And you do this 3 times. You add up your points for all 3 rounds. Most wins. What did you think of Pixies?
I fucking loved Pixies. We almost played it last time.
Yeah.
Jeff talked about games we could play, and he was like, we could play this, possibly Pixies. And I was like, is the game called Possibly Pixies? Or are you saying, possibly, we could play Pixies? And it was the latter.
Yeah.
But it could have easily just as been Possibly Pixies. And the second he started explaining it, it gave me vibes of Smitten. Because Smitten also, you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that kind of 3x3 grid thing. After we started playing, it's nothing like Pixies, like Smitten at all. I thought this game... how to explain how I thought it was so clever.
Yeah.
It did nothing really new. I mean, like, you're trying to get groups of colors together. That reminds me of Tir na Nog and a bunch of other million types of games. You are trying to, play a card to get points by doing something. In this game,
in a
it's
grid even.
Getting another card to go underneath it. Yeah, you're playing in a grid. Nothing's really different about this, but it has a charm to it.
It does.
That I felt like. Did you say that about Far Away, that this is the
I
same,
have not,
same
but yeah,
guy?
you can go ahead. Yep.
So it gave
Johannes
me
Goopy.
the Goopy. The fucking Goop.
Goopy
The Goop's
vibes?
getting
The
it.
Goop really is getting it. The
He's-
Goop made another Goopy game that you play, because you play Far Away and you're like, there's nothing really to this. Why is this so charming?
Why do I want to play it 40 times?
It's so
Yeah.
charming. He's got that
Yeah.
little backwards mechanism thing, which is not, again, that's not like groundbreaking stuff.
Right.
But you're kind of like, I've not done this. That's cool.
Yeah.
And this game has that kind of too.
It's also like a
you're
simple concept.
I feel like I've never seen this before, even though
Yeah.
nothing really looks new here.
Yeah.
And so you're playing it, and again, it's so just like Far Away. Literally, all you're doing is you're like, I will take that card.
Yeah.
Or
And I have to put
I will
it
take
right
that
here.
card, or I have to, and I must put it in this
Yeah.
one spot. And there's something so intrinsically simplistically fun about doing that, because you still feel like you have a little decision. And what I liked about it is you get every round. There's 3 cards that come out, and I'm sorry. Every round there's the number of cards for the number of players that there are. In this instance, there was 3. And almost every single time, I was like, cross my fingers. Like, I want that one. Like, don't take that one. I'll talk Natalie into getting that card. And then, Jeff took it. Fuck. Okay, damn, didn't matter. But sometimes it was like, that one went to me. Yes, cool. I get to take that. There was even one round where I was like, all right, guys, we can all win here.
Yeah.
There's a card out there for all of us. And Jeff's like, it's going to be dependent on Natalie taking the 9. And you did. And then Jeff took his. And I loved that. It was like really cool. And you wouldn't think that moments like that would happen in a game this tiny. This tiny little box card game you look at, and you're kind of, I feel like, throwaway.
Right.
You know,
it's like 70 cards in a box.
who cares?
I've played this game
yes,
before.
It looks
You
cute.
think like that.
There's a million cute looking games. This does not necessarily stand out. It is beautiful looking, but there's a billion games that are cute and beautiful looking that I wouldn't, if I saw this in a lineup, I'm not going to be like, I got to play Pixies.
Yeah.
And then you play it and you're like, there's something special about this little 70 card game. And it's not the greatest game I've ever played. It's not amazing. It's not like, this is so fucking great, but go out and buy it right now. But also, I think you guys should play it. I would recommend this to you for a filler. Clear filler.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
this is not filler plus even, I think. This is filler game when you have, I don't know, what does it take? 20 minutes maybe to run through. You don't even have to play all 3. Just play until it's over. It is really fun, I thought.
Yeah. Me too.
You can go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping just looking at you and would be like, that's your turn. Sorry.
I never know.
I know.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really fun.
And
too.
another thing. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, there's always something, even if it's nothing new and it's just like a kind of a simpler game, there's always something fun about having like a bunch of different things that you're trying to do at once, and so like it always kind of creates a fun, interesting decision, even if it's just like, which of the 3 cards am I picking?
Yeah, that's a
you know
good
what I mean?
point.
Because it's like, do I go for this, which helps me with these colors, or do I go for this, which could give me more points, or do I go for this, which will validate something, will give you, points for this? and you were like, which one's the best? And that is all nothing new. That is all very simple, but it's like still just generally fun doing that. And like you said, this kind of had like a charm to it where while it is nothing new, it did still feel like a slight, new enough that I would be like, oh yeah, this is fun. I'd play that again. Not like, because there are some games that we play that has like nothing new, and I'd be like, I played a million things like that. I don't care to play this again. But this wasn't like that. It's
I know
like,
it had some soul to it.
There's always sometimes there's just something that you can't explain that games have, and this one had it.
Even getting screwed in this game doesn't screw you. And it worked out, this particular situation worked out in my favor, where I was like, oh man, none of the 3 cards that are up right now I can take. None of them.
Yeah.
And so it was my turn. I took the last card and I'm like, all right, I got to take this one. But you get to flip it over and put it in a spot that doesn't have a card yet. And I was like, well, I'll put it in the 9 spot just in case the 9 comes out. And now it's my turn to go first. And the 9 comes up and boom, I score it immediately because of that last screwed over turn.
Or even just like that, like you pick a card and no matter what, you get something, or maybe you lose something, but usually you get something. And then you validate it and put the card underneath it, and then you get even more. So like it's not like you're just like, oh, I get nothing unless I validate it. Like there's always something else going on, which is kind of cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, the decisions were, I think, deeper than maybe you initially thought right away, where you're like, okay, like, oh, this one's my yellow one. I can connect it. I can make more yellows. You're like, oh, I want to be able to validate my 4 because then I'm not getting 4 points. So there is like a little bit of decision where it's not just nothing. It's not
almost every turn was like that. It was like, that gives me 6 points, but it's a 1 in a color I don't need.
Or has 3 X's on it.
Yeah, but that one's got 3 X's on it, but also it's going to give me my 5th red in a row, and I can validate. Ooh.
It's not like it was a filler that played itself. I didn't feel like I didn't have agency in what I was picking. Sure, there's luck in what flips over, and oh yes, I could use all 3 of those. This is wonderful. But again, that's the nature of a filler game. Not I don't have a choice in what I do. The randomness didn't bother me because it's a filler game, because it's quick.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a choice, or I was just like, well, the game's just playing itself, then I would be annoyed with the randomness.
Right. You'd probably just be like, I don't really care.
But like it was just fun.
It's
like,
better than it's a 7.0 on BGG. I think it's better than that.
It's better than that. And I think like Far Away is probably going to remain like a game that people are going to tie his name to. Like Pixies might fade into the small game box obscurity, but whereas Far Away, I think, is going to kind of hang and maybe get an expansion and things like that to it. And I think Far Away maybe broke the mold a little more than Pixies. So
Far Away gives you that, like, I need to try this again now that I understand it.
Yeah.
This game, I guess if I see any negative, I could see you play it a couple times and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Far Away
I got
definitely has more to it.
But
Far
it
Away's
is
got more.
Better,
yeah.
Like Pixies is better than what it's being advertised on BGG, and again, is a game you could put in your pocket and go play at a restaurant. You can carry it wherever you want. It is adorable. Like the art.
Yeah.
This is not a heavy game.
This is not a heavy game. So like Johannes Goopy is now a person he also did Rauha.
The Goop. Oh, really? You liked that?
Yeah, I liked it. It was like that game I was like, okay, that's good. First time I got destroyed and I was like, I don't understand. The second game I played a lot better.
He did Orichalcum too.
And Orichalcum. So he's got some like
Queens.
cool games. So I'm like, okay, let's keep an eye out for this dude.
Did you play Queens?
No, that's the B one. Is that
Yeah.
the B game?
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna keep an eye out for now his games, especially if he's making cool little card games like this.
Right. He's got a game coming out in 2025 called Super. It looks like a superhero themed game.
Super. I mean,
really?
I'll probably buy it because his name is now attached to it.
The Goopy.
Who's gonna publish it?
Square Moon.
No idea what that means.
No clue. Maybe it's his own publishing. I'm going to look up Square Moon. We're going to talk about this real quick. And it has a game called Super attached to it.
Okay. Maybe it's his own thing. Maybe the Goop is
Young French board game publisher founded by 3 colleagues, 3 friends, 3 gaming partners. So maybe this is the Goopy's.
Could be Goopy Crew.
I don't know. I don't want to like say who fucking knows.
Who knows?
The Gamecasters have a sponsor. We have partnered up with Modern Meeple, company behind the famous Gamey Susan, which is a lazy Susan that holds extremely high-quality board game component trays. These trays are the picture of luxury. Made right here in the USA, they are made from a wood-based material that's dyed throughout with a number of different colors to choose from, and should you drop or ding them, they will still retain that color. These things are so great looking on the table, and displaying them on your game shelves will really elevate your status with your neighbor, which is good because he's been lording that damn elk head head over the fireplace for the last 5 years and really needs to shut up. So head on over to modernmeeple.com to check out all the great products they have. And if you find something you like, enter discount code Gamecasters at checkout to receive free shipping and a couple cool Gamecasters keychains as well. Once again, that's modernmeeple.com. If you're looking to get some great Gamecasters or Mad Board Gamer gear, head on over to the link tree in our Instagram profile or the Discord merch channel to see our store on bonfire.com. There you'll be able to find our standard logos as well as some show-specific designs like BDNBF or Numberblind. We'll add new designs as the show evolves and look forward to seeing all of you repping those poop knife shirts at the next Nerdfest. So once again, head on over to the link tree on the Gamecasters Instagram page or the merch channel in our Discord server to find the link to our Bonfire merch store. If you're looking to support the show, maybe consider flushing your money down the toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers that you can use to hinder yourself if you're looking to unload some of that cold hard cash and help us keep the wheels of industry turning by supporting this podcast that you sometimes listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support, guys. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees, better equipment, blow-up dolls, poop knives, and the like, please head on over to patreon.com/the Gamecasters to help out. Possibly the best way to interact with all of us, though, is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our server. It's a great way to engage with all 3 of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. So check out our Discord server.
No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way.
And we are back. Do you guys remember the no fucking way segment?
Yes, I do.
It's only been 2 episodes since we've done the last one.
Two episodes ago, but 2 months ago.
2 months ago. So it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Or 2 dumpsters. So the last game we played was the 3-minute game, last episode.
Yeah.
The one I had to kind of help out on was related to this. You remember, Natalie? You just couldn't figure
see
out.
that.
Yeah, the I can see that clue.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, I don't know what that is. Was that a game?
Was it just like a regular sentence?
I thought of The Office. Like, I can see that. That seems reasonable.
Well, that's kind of the inspiration. Anyway, if you're new to the Gamecasters, this episode, we are doing a segment called No Fucking Way, affectionately titled NFW. How this is going to work is I'm going to present a statement to the group of us, and we're going to go around the horn together in no particular order and say whether you agree with that statement. And if you do, you're going to say, hell yeah. If you're neutral on that statement, you're going to say, Natalie,
I can see that.
or Jeff, if you disagree with that statement, you're going to say,
No fucking way.
no fucking way. I always hope to say no fucking way to all of them.
It's fun to say.
I just want to.
Yeah.
So we're going to start it off. I got 7 of these for us.
Okay.
Number 1, coercing your guests to play board games at a party is a dick move. Now, Natalie found this one on Reddit. Right? Was it a Reddit one you found?
It was on Reddit.
And I had some thoughts about this. I mean, it's kind of topical since we just did this yesterday. Now, I wouldn't say we coerced, but that's the word that's doing the heavy lifting in that sentence. Yeah. Because
It's not like you're asking them. You're coercing them.
obviously at face value, that's a hell yeah statement, I think.
Right.
Coercing guests to play board, because that's implying that they don't want to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have to twist their arm or socially, because like I could see somebody at a party being like, I'm just at a party. I'm fine. I'm by myself. I'm doing my own thing. And then you come over and you're like, you're playing a game.
Yeah, come on.
I think of, there was a time I'll maybe back this off and not say too much more detail, but I can remember a time at a certain convention where somewhere and somebody's like, sit down. You're playing a game. We're playing a game right now. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But you're like making me. And this is kind of bumming
now
me
it's
out.
awkward because I want to be like,
Yeah, like I don't want to
no.
play this, but it's going to be a fight now with you.
Yeah.
I don't like that energy.
Yeah. I
to
think
it.
I'll just stay the middle. Because the level of coercing is probably where I'm at. Like, if they say no means no.
No means no.
If they say no,
Yeah.
just say okay and move on with your fucking life.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. If nobody wants to play, put the games away and do something else. But yeah, you don't have to be, because you could cross a line and be the dick, and then even if they play the game, they're going to be grumpy gamer and not want to play with you anyway.
Right.
Because you're annoying.
Right. Every one of us, we're all playing Wits and Wagers.
Yeah. Whether you like it or
Whether
not.
you like it or not, you're playing Wits and Wagers. Now, if you know anyone like that, just say fucking no. No, so I was reading through this post a little bit about that specific one, and some people were putting it on the person, and some people were putting it on the person that said it, right? The person that is receiving the information. Some people are like, listen, if you are feeling coerced, then maybe you're a little bit of a people pleaser. Just tell them you don't want to. Just say, listen, I don't really want to. But I also understand it from the other side. You don't want to put someone in that position to have this social awkward interaction with you, maybe somebody they don't know too well, and now they're forced to be like, stop. I don't want to do this. But I think Jeff and Natalie both are like me in this situation where, like, in a situation like last night or yesterday while we were doing this, we didn't go around to the whole house and say, we're playing board games now.
Yeah.
We busted out some board games and we're just like, if anybody wants to play, we're over here playing. And there's people that we love that were at the party that never play. Mm-hmm. Natalie's cousin Guy, for instance, I guess he occasionally will play,
here and there,
but a lot of times he
mostly
doesn't.
not, yeah.
And we're not like, Guy, are you playing?
Yeah.
Why aren't you playing? What are you doing, Guy? Come play a game with us.
Yeah.
We're just like, we have some games. If you want to come play them, it'd be great. If you're a little nervous, I would love to try to help you not be nervous. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to play, you don't have to fucking play.
Right.
So I'm hell yang this one, I think. Natalie, what about you?
Hell yeah, it's a dick move.
Hell
Yeah,
it's a dick move.
coercing your
Yeah.
guests to play board games
Yeah.
at a party is a dick move.
I think I'm going to hell yeah. I wanted to go, I can see that, but I'm trying to be more like, just take the statement
Take
at
a
face
stance?
value
Oh.
kind of thing. Like, don't be like, well, if it's like this or if it's like this.
Yeah.
If I'm
I
just
see. You're right. It
looking
does
at
say
the actual
coercing.
statement.
Yeah, that word makes it seem like
then yeah,
dick.
It
I
does.
guess it is like a dick move. Because like, I guess if I said I can see that, it would depend on things, but I'm trying not to do that. So yeah, I'm going to say hell yeah. It's a dick move. I think that the best and right way to do it is to offer it up, but don't make anyone feel like they have to, or else you do kind of look like a dick.
Right.
know?
This is actually good advice for your dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Offer it up, but don't
Offer it up.
Don't like
Yeah,
force
don't
them.
force it
No
on
means
them.
no. Consent is real. Okay.
Respect the no-no square.
Yep. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't touch me there. No. Square.
Okay, number 2. Board games are a good medium for storytelling.
Good medium for storytelling. Man, I'm gonna be the one in the middle. Usually I'm the decisive one.
No fucking way for me. But if you want to be in the middle, let's do it. Let's hear. I would like to hear.
You go.
All right, I got some. No fucking way. I've said this forever over the course of my time with board games. I feel that I cannot think of one board game where I give a shit about the narrative in the board game. I can't think of one. We played Clank Legacy, and it had this big narrative, and I was like, oh my God, I have to read another paragraph. I don't fucking care. I just don't care. Because, and this might be different for people, but to me, if I want narrative, I'm going to play a role-playing game that is about narrative.
Right, you're in the story.
Mechanics are in the
narrative
background,
game
and you're
about
playing the narrative.
Yeah.
But in a board game, I typically care most about the mechanisms, and if there's a narrative, it's very tacked on.
Yeah.
Because usually the people designing board games are math brain. Usually. Your math brain designing board games that are mathy, right? And typically a person is not math brain and also creative storyteller brain. I mean, sometimes it happens, but typically their strengths are in making the spreadsheet work out to where, I'm having fun engaging with these mechanisms that my brain could never come up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess they could farm out like, okay, now tack a story onto this. I just never feel like it does it well enough that I ever care about the story it's telling. I'm always just like, ugh. Okay, let's just give me to the game now.
Yeah. I feel similarly. I'm going to go no fucking way because, I mean, yeah, I also never care about the story in games, but at the same time, I could see that maybe that's just me. But also,
well, yeah, this is just you.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying like, that doesn't mean it's not a good medium necessarily. I just don't give a crap about it. But more importantly, I think that my answer is no fucking way because what you're doing first and foremost is playing a game. And so there's just not really ever a good way to have enough time to get so engaged and into a story while also like actually like just playing a game. You know, like if you're just saying some little things in between stuff to get from point A to point B to the next like turn or next thing you need to do, you're not going to be able to get people engaged enough in the story to make it that interesting or that good, I guess. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I will say
What do you think?
I'll say the middle.
Okay.
I can see that.
Okay. Your second, I can see that in a row.
The only reason, so too much narrative is a turnoff in board games. When I have to pause and read something or take time away from the game to secretly look at something, my father's work comes to mind where there's something that I have to read when it's my turn or when I trigger something that I just want to go to the end and see what I get or don't get or something happens. That took away from the game. They have to wait for me to read and I don't know how to read. And, it's like I have to sound it out, all this. So that becomes where I'm like, okay, I don't care about what we're doing. It's
cool. They put all this work into it, but...
But I do recognize, so maybe this is why I'm in the middle. I do recognize that games need a theme. And maybe... narrative is not theme.
Well, this specifically is storytelling.
This is
I
storytelling,
think of
right?
stuff like Forgotten Waters or like, what's that?
That's good storytelling.
What's that one? We played it like in the condo and I always think it's like Thunderstone something.
Thunderstone
that might
Quest?
not be it. I don't know. I just
Thunderstone
remember there
Quest,
was like,
I shouldn't have.
there
That
was like
shouldn't
a
have
book.
a narrative.
I remember there was like a book and then you'd like read stuff and then you have to like this or this, and you have to like pick something, and we were just like, ugh. Like,
just give me the
Yeah.
something.
So yeah, I guess maybe if I'm just sticking with like a story, I would be no fucking way. But I do recognize that games need a theme and something there. Like if I'm thinking of like mind management,
Yeah.
that game is cooler when you add the theme of like secret agents,
Totally.
sneaking, and it's not just like, hey, you're behind that screen and you're
totally.
a blue player pawn and I'm a yellow player pawn and I have to find you.
Yeah, I guess the definition of storytelling is what's subjective here.
Yeah, so that's where I recognize that there is a need for those in games. I just don't give a shit about a lot of them. So if it was like a theme question, I might be more the other side. I don't know. I think I'm like 75% in the no fucking way category.
I think I agree that if this said board games are a good medium for thematic integration, I would probably say I'd be more the middle 10,
middle.
but closer to hell yeah. I think so. What I guess personally, when I hear storytelling, I think specifically this person has written out like a little story,
like chunks of
is
text.
It ever like, ooh, I can't wait to read this? I'm never saying
never
that.
like that.
I'm always like, oh my god, okay, there's three paragraphs I got to go into.
I thought
here. I'm
maybe
sorry.
storytelling could be thought of as the story the game tells. So if I go back to mind management, there is a story that starts and ends with the game.
That's a different way to look at it.
But so that's maybe where I'm in. I could see that. I can see that. I can see that.
You can see that. You can see that. I can see that. You can see that too. Because I guess Sherlock Holmes kind of does it okay. I don't know if that's necessarily storytelling,
To
but
me, that's sort of like that's almost separate from like, because again,
it's not like board game.
People also talk about that's not a board game.
True.
It's just reading.
All right, number 3. I rarely play a game enough to actually need an expansion.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I buy it
Rarely.
anyway.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But I will buy it anyway.
Yeah. I have this weird like thing that I used to do a lot more. I've grown up a little bit in this where if I play a game once and I liked it, I would buy the expansion. If it was out.
Yes.
Right? You play a game and you go, I want this expansion right now.
I'm going to play this 20 times and it's going to get old.
I think starting to realize like, okay, I don't play this game a lot. What
no
does
game I'm
the
playing
expansion
that has
actually?
expansions
So
20
going and actually looking into an expansion and go, do I need this? Have I seen the cards enough? Is this something I would want to play? And if it's an expansion, I would want to. I am only buying it if I'm using it the next play.
Yeah.
Like play number 2, I'm going to add
gotta
this expansion
throw it in. Same.
Yeah.
And there's games like that. But I rarely play a game enough where I'm like, I have seen the base game enough
I needed
that
to switch
now
up
I
a
want
little.
the next.
Even though there's there's like threads on Board Game Geek that will be like, you're going to need to expand this. I'm like, okay, I guess I will.
Yeah, okay.
Typically, even those, I don't, because I don't typically play games enough over a condensed period of time that it would get samey.
That I would remember or that it would.
Yeah, like I'll throw out an example here. Galaxy Trucker is the example I kind of always use.
Yeah.
I had base Galaxy Trucker and then bought the big box that came with the
Bunch
2
of shit.
expansions it had, because I was like, I love Galaxy Trucker so much. I just want I want
all
more.
of it.
I don't need it. Don't need
Yeah.
it. I never played. I played it once, I think, and I was like, I just don't. It's too much shit to add in.
Yeah.
Too many more things to think about. I just want to grab Galaxy Trucker off the shelf and play it. You don't need to expand it.
There's a completionist thing, I think, in a lot of board gamers
Yes.
too. To be like, you want the complete collection, you
Yeah.
want to have it. So like, I'm missing a piece.
Well, to your point as well, if I love a game, like Ark Nova, I bought the Ark Nova expansion. I will buy every expansion for that game the second it comes out,
Yeah.
even if I don't. I mean, it's easier to just integrate those into the
Yeah,
game.
we
I
have
haven't
played
played with
those.
Marine World yet.
Oh, I haven't. It's great, but you don't need to.
Is it on BGA?
I don't know.
Maybe I'll send it in there.
Yeah, maybe you could add it in there. Yeah, you don't need to,
But it is really
really
good.
cool.
Yeah.
I like what it adds,
But like,
but you don't need to.
for
It's not
the
necessary.
most, but that's like, I think Ark Nova is one of the rare games we actually have played a decent amount. Most all other games we don't play
Well,
that
also
much.
to Jeff's point, the expansion for Ark Nova, once you put it in, you'll never take it out. You'll never not play with it. It's
right.
one of those.
I think it also depends on the type of expansion. Like if it's something to mix the game up, so you've played it enough times and you want to like change it up.
Yeah.
No, you probably don't need that for the amount of times that we play games. But something like Pictures, where we play this
You
game
just-
a shit
you
ton,
just want
and then
more.
all you're doing is adding some more types of things that you could just interchangeably add into the game.
Well, we always talk about how those are the best types of expansions. The
Then,
expansion
yeah.
that you can seamlessly
Plug
add
it
in
in.
without changing
Right.
any rules, basic
right. And you don't
core rules.
need it, but it definitely makes it more fun.
It makes
You
it more
know,
fun.
it's rarely, but the game where it says rarely play the game.
Rarely.
Where,
Yeah.
Planet Unknown, I backed the expansion, the
Same.
Super Moons or whatever.
Same.
But I have also played that game. I've played every
Right.
special map of it.
Every board,
So
you're
now
like,
I'm like,
I'm ready
okay,
for
what
something
is
new.
the next step to that? If I
Yeah.
only played Planet Unknown once, I wouldn't, again, need
Right.
the extra stuff because I'm like, I have so many
Yeah.
of these
But
boards.
like
you wanna
Ark
buy the things.
Nova or Planet
It's also on
Unknown.
BGA and you can play it by yourself and it's sweet.
Like I bet you the percentage
Cool.
of games that like you felt like you need an expansion for is like 1%.
It's
you know?
very low, and it's dropping because I have unplayed expansions
Yeah.
for games
Yeah.
that I
Oh my
love.
God, me too.
We're
I have
like
tons of
I have
unplayed expansions.
Bitoku, I have Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Same.
I
I was
have these
gonna
ones.
say Lost Ruins of Arnak.
The Obsession one
Yep.
just showed up, and thankfully I just played Obsession again on BGA with Ryan, and I was like, okay,
So
this
you
game
know-
is cool.
you know the-
and I was like, I remembered maybe only like 60%.
It's
of what I was
awesome,
fucking
man.
doing.
That's a great
But I'm like,
game.
what a cool game! I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe now I can jump back into it. But if I didn't play that with Ryan,
You'd never play that fucking expansion.
I'm not sure I would ever play that expansion.
Yeah.
I'd keep the coins.
Yeah, the coins would stay in, and then you'd
But
play
yeah,
the base
and
game
I-
and you'd throw in just the base game
Yeah,
stuff.
and I think that comes, at least for my experience, for me, it comes with playing games more, starting to understand myself as a gamer to be like, I'm not going to play this game 10 times to get
Yeah.
that expansion, and the $30, $40 that I'm going to spend can get me another game or
Look how much you
something
guys
else.
have grown.
I mean,
Is that growth?
We just put the money to something else. It's just not the expansion.
Right. Is that growth? I don't know. All right, number 4. This one might be a little controversial. We're coming after some people
Oh,
here.
boy. We
For
are.
a hobby that's all about being social, a lot of board gamers are oftentimes the least socially adept people.
Hell yeah.
Natalie? Hell yeah. I agree with Jeff.
Yeah, I think so.
This is not
Then you're in the middle.
this
I
is
can
not
see
a
it.
universal
Yeah.
thing, of course. However, I have played a ton of board games with my group of friends. And my group of friends are all extremely well adjusted adult individuals who also like board games.
Yeah.
I've played a ton of games at conventions with people, and a lot of them are just simply not. And still great people, but definitely not socially
It's
adept.
a little socially awkward.
They're a little bit BDMBF.
Yeah.
Kind
Or
of, you gotta get, you kind of get.
even the different part of social of just like uncomfortable around people.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
like, I have anxiety sitting on the table and playing games, but I like it. And that's, again, not saying anything about someone's personality or
No.
who they are, But sometimes it's like, are you playing a game? You have to talk to people,
Right.
And that's a hurdle for a lot of people.
It's just interesting to me.
But in their heart, they're like, I love playing
I
board
wanna
games,
do this.
but I just can't do it around people. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, that's what board games.
That's what board games
is.
are. It's interesting to me that it's not more socially adept people. It's interesting to me that it seems there skews a lot of. I don't want to make a blanket statement, but I see a large swath of people that are not as socially adept, and it's just interesting to me. I'm like, I wonder.
Do you think
why?
do you think people who are very like outgoing and very social, for the most part, let's say they're not in the board game hobby, and then they're going out doing social things like going to a party or going to whatever they're doing, and then these people who are into board games. We talk about it a lot, or we have talked about it a lot in like past podcast episodes where like it's a good icebreaker for, when you're uncomfortable and you sit down and play a game and you don't have to chit chat or small talk with somebody, which is like really weird and awkward. Instead, you could just play this game and it kind of naturally gets you to like interact with them. Mm-hmm. Maybe that is part of it, like, yeah, they are socially awkward, but playing a game is like the most comfortable way for them to be social. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it makes sense. Especially when you consider that a lot of games are kind of math brain oriented, and there's and that's a more analytical than social aspect that people enjoy about games. Sometimes I want to sit down and figure out this game and beat it and beat you.
Maybe
I'm
rephrase
gonna
that.
beat it, and then I'm gonna beat you. So I'm gonna masturbate, and then I'll fucking sock you in the mouth. No, but like so like they're more interested in figuring out the mechanisms of the game, and it's fun for them to do it to you, But they're maybe not getting the same thing that I'm getting, which is in a connection with the people at the table. They're more interested in what they're doing and how it interacts with you, not how they're interacting with you.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
What do you think
it
about
is.
this, Jeff?
Yeah, I think I kind of said it. I think there's different sort of levels of maybe uncomfortable around people. And yeah, I think it's also more because of who we play with. Fondle, who we play games with. I don't want to say surprises me more. When we go to conventions and I'm like, or we talk to people and they're just kind of like, I don't really want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's not like our friend group is pretty outgoing and jokes
Yeah.
and laughs and things like that. And I believe that their friend group might be the same way, that they laugh and
Right,
joke. But
yeah.
the moment they step outside of your friend group, it's just kind of you
Yeah, like, who?
step back
Am
a little
up,
bit.
yeah.
Right.
It's not who I am. It's not who
Same.
my job is to also not be that
Right.
way.
Yeah, totally.
So like, yeah, no fault of anything, but yeah, it seems like the hobby lends itself to, just some social awkwardness.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to pick apart because the hobby is inherently social.
That you
Yeah.
you have to sit by people.
But I also feel
You
like
gotta talk to me.
I also feel like, while there are conventions and you can go to like game nights at like a game store or something, I feel like most of the time when you're being social, you are in your friend's basement.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're not like out there in the world.
But those people go to board game conventions,
Yeah, right. Probably because they're so into the hobby, they want to
Yeah, they want to experience different
it, or they're
sides
excited
of it.
about that. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I will say, I agree. It is the interesting part too. Is like Gen Con, for example, is so freaking huge and so packed with so many people. I guess maybe there's a part of it where like somebody could go there and feel invisible, so it's not like as awkward.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
But for people who are like, have like issues with being social, that seems like it does seem odd
Dork.
to go to something so large, full of people. And
I guess also board games are kind of inherently dorky.
yeah,
But yeah, well, at least when you, go to a convention, all those people are there for the same reasons. You're not
That's true.
carrying.
It's like your
You're not
people
carrying
my
a game
people.
of bags.
right.
These
You're
are
not
my
going to
people.
stand out.
Right. You're not carrying
necessarily.
games into a concert. Or
Right,
something.
because
You're like,
it's socially looked upon as a dorky endeavor. And so
Yeah.
we're all dorks too. We're just a little more social dorks. All right, number 5. I prefer teaching over being taught. So we're learning a new game.
Hell no.
Hell yeah.
That's not
No
what you
fucking
said.
way.
You had a chance.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't learn as well.
I know that you don't.
Wow.
She knows I don't learn as well.
And then that's just the end of that sentence.
Yeah, it's the end.
Ryan does
I
not
don't learn as well. I know.
Period.
No,
I
it
know.
is like
I've
a
been
thing.
Did you
waiting.
have more to say to that? I just knew that
I
you
knew
don't
you
learn
didn't learn
as
well.
Yeah.
You don't learn well.
You just don't learn
You
well.
don't learn
Like,
well. He
something's
finally
not-
said, I didn't think he was going to say it himself.
My God.
He finally said it.
You know, I've been meaning to
Good
talk
job,
to you
Ryan.
about this.
You do not learn
Yeah,
well.
you do not learn well.
Thank you for saying it for me,
Yeah.
in fact.
You.
You really don't.
Double down. I'm going to double down on that. You don't
Yeah.
learn well.
Remember how I was going to clarify what I said? I'm not.
I'm going to
You
say
do
it again.
not
You
learn
don't
well
learn
at
well.
all.
This is really funny and everything,
Yeah.
but you don't learn well.
Natalie, you're first.
You need to be the teacher.
She's right. Okay, I learned so much better when I figured out on my own, watch video, read the rule book, internalize it my way, and then I feel like I'm just so much better at explaining it to you. If you're explaining it to me, I'm usually like, I don't what.
Yeah.
I don't
he
know.
gets like so confused.
We don't have to only talk about me. Talk about you.
It is really interesting. Wait, what? Can you say the exact phrase
Yeah,
again?
I prefer teaching over being taught.
Okay, yeah.
So you
definitely
said-
You said no fucking way.
Not hell no or whatever you said. Hell no
Hell
fucking
no.
way.
Hell yeah. Hell maybe. Hell no.
Yes, fucking way,
Hell
and hell no. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I probably would learn better. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't learn better if I learned it myself. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that part, but I definitely prefer being taught because I don't like spending all the time
less work.
and effort into the teaching part. And then I also don't like the pressure of teaching it and trying to do a good job. And like, I don't want to confuse them. I don't want to
Fuck up. Say something
I don't want to
wrong.
fuck it up.
I don't want to be the reason that their time is bad.
Right, exactly. And most people I feel like who teach me games are pretty good at it. Like, it's pretty easy to follow along. So it's
I feel like if
it's
you
just kind of easier for them to
don't
just
like
go
teaching,
through
you
it.
wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like Jeff likes. I'm gonna speak for you. I think Jeff likes it better as well, and he's good at it. He's a teacher, for fuck's
Right,
sake.
yeah,
So
yeah,
of course he likes doing that. For me, before I give Jeff the mic here, I think one of the big things for me is I am a very impatient person. I'm extremely impatient. And so I like internalizing the rules and digesting them my own way. And then I relay them in what I think is the most economical way possible in this few amount of words that gets you to learn them. I've played games with people teaching me, and Jeff, I'm sure you could say the same thing, where someone over explains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll do 6 examples, and I'm like, I got it the second time, and you're just still going. And then I'm like, and I get up, then I zone out a little bit, and then I miss something, and I'm like, fuck, and I'm all upset. And it's really, I find most of the time that I get that way is because I'm like, you're boring me. Go, keep moving. I get it's not that. I'm not like let's just figure it out when we play. I want the information, but it's like, give it to me in the most economical way possible, and I just find that it's easier if I just do it.
Well, if you just learned better, then I think it'd be okay.
It's funny.
You really do need to learn better.
I have noticed it lately. Like someone else will teach us a game, and you always seem so. You're always like what? Like what about this? What about this? And I'm like, they just said that, And I'm always like, no, not
Here we
like.
go.
You need to learn,
learn better, man.
But
Learn
listen,
better.
I think the reason is I'm used to always being taught, so I figure out, how to learn that way, and I feel like you're used to always learning it yourself and teaching it, so it's almost fairly rare for you to be taught it.
That's
so
true.
It's almost like your brain isn't like picking it up.
There's an
brain
art to learning,
doesn't
and
learn.
you don't
Your
have
brain
it.
has stopped learning, and it's sad.
You.
I've been meaning to talk to you about this, and it's sad.
I'm really glad we're all
meant
doing
to
it
be
here on the
offensive.
air.
It's just that makes
Learn
sense.
better. I'm
Just learn
trying to be nice here.
better.
Actually, I'm not offending you.
Learn better.
learn in a better way than you are learning now. You're stupid.
Babe.
Like right now,
Stop being stupid.
Stop
like if you
it.
learn
know
right
what
now,
I'm
I want you to
talking
learn
about.
better than that.
Jeff, what do you got to say about this one?
I'd say hell yeah. I'd rather teach it. I think like I enjoy digesting the rules of the game and sort of seeing the game maybe play out as you read the rules, and that kind of stuff helps me better understand the game. I'm okay also learning games. I'm fine.
You're not stupid like me?
I don't know.
Apparently.
Ask
You're not
Natalie
stupid.
has a
Need to
list.
learn better?
Yeah.
No, Jeff's fine.
He's
Everything's
fine.
good with him.
I don't know.
But we also, having played so many games, you kind of infer some things, and you know how games sort of go. Hey, place a worker there, you get the shit, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But then I think when you teach things and you teach it to groups like this, like, hey, this is a worker placement game, but instead of doing this, you can kind of do that with a lot of people. But I enjoy learning it and talking to people and answering the questions. It does, and we've talked about this before. It does distract me a little bit from my own gameplay.
Yep. I never care about
But
that.
I don't care about.
But
it.
you're right. It does do that.
My
for sure.
goal is, again, for the enjoyment of everybody else. I'll look up the rules. Let me do this. But we've also been good at like passing the rule book around. Like, hey, will you look this up? Why? Whatever. But yeah, just learn
You're right.
better.
To a point that you said, well, I guess Natalie said me to learn better. No, to a point that,
Babe,
that you brought up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm stupid. I know what you mean.
learn
No,
better.
you're not
I
stupid.
believe. Oh, am I not learning this good either?
Listen, you're not even learning what I'm telling
You're
you
not even
right
learning
now.
this good. Learn
You're just
better.
learning it more thoroughly when you learn it yourself, and then when someone's just like speaking it at you, it's almost like you're like, I'm not used to this.
There's a wall.
Not learning better.
Natalie made a point that I think, Jeff, you kind of said the opposite of, and I agree with you here, where Natalie said, I don't necessarily like teaching the games as much because I get nervous that what I'm doing is going to be wrong, and then you're going to oh no, now everyone's mad at me. And you said something that I agree with as well. I enjoy being the one to teach because I kind of look at it from the other side where like, it's up to me to make you have fun. And I'm kind of like, I like that idea.
Yeah, you're the host guy.
Yeah, the host, it falls into that host thing that I just really enjoy. Cool. Number 6, most games are not worth your time.
Hell yeah.
Most games are not worth your time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're all in agreement on this one.
I mean, most would be more than 50%.
Sturgeon's Law.
And they suck.
Sturgeon's Law is true, which is 90% of everything is crap.
Yeah, most is even more than most more than majority.
Is that not synonymous? Most,
Just
the majority?
more than half of the games are not worth your time.
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
I think so too. And this even goes for the 10% of the 10%. Like there's the 90% of the 10% are bad. Even.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're in that 10% that are supposed to be not crap. 90% of that is also kind of crap in some way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games I play that I've vetted.
Yeah.
And then we play, and I'm like, no, this
You're like,
is
"Dang,
not
this is a bust."
This is not
And
good.
there's a mixture in that majority of crap that are just there's some games that are just not good. And I think or like broken or universally just
Yeah.
like, okay, these aren't good. But there's also games again not worth your time.
Right.
Natalie does not want
not
to
my
play.
thing, yeah.
She does not want to play Social Deduction, Close Your Eyes,
Right.
Who's the Murderer game.
Yep.
That game, Avalon, is fucking fun.
Greatest game ever.
It is not worth Natalie's time.
not.
So it's in a
Yeah.
pile of an imaginary pile of games that is not worth her time. Doesn't mean the
Right.
game is bad. It's just not worth her time.
so good.
Correct.
It's so good. Some of my best gaming experiences ever are playing Avalon with you guys.
So fun. Natalie.
The best. Number 7, we actually kind of talked about in the banter, and it was Thanksgiving food is garbage.
Oh, really?
I think I would say I can see that because of this year's food was so good.
No fucking way. I always like it.
I always like food. Food is just good.
Food is just good.
It's
For some,
yummy.
I guess it's just like maybe what I was going with there is the stigma of like, oh, Thanksgiving, I get to eat. This is great. This holiday is all about eating. I mean, it's really about, giving thanks, of course. But you know what I mean? It's like Halloween's all about the candy. Thanksgiving is all about the food. Christmas is all about the presents. If you're like taking it to its baser, properties. And typically when I was growing up, I was like, turkey? I don't like turkey.
Yeah.
Like I don't
There's so
want to
much
just
more
eat
than just
turkey. I know, but that's like the main event, right? Turkey
usually.
is the main event. I don't like cranberry sauce, really. I like stuffing is okay.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes are good.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like, this is like, I would always choose to eat something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then this year, maybe now that I'm just a grown up, and
Right.
things have changed a little bit, where I'm like, all right, right, cool, let's have turkey. But then, we get brisket now every year, and that's fucking great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is that Thanksgiving food? I don't know. It is for me.
It's really funny. This past week, the kids, when I would pick them up from school, they're like, "Oh, we're so excited for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's in 2 days." And I was like, "Why do you like Thanksgiving so much?"
They just like being
3
off
days
school.
off of school.
Yeah, they're out of
No,
school.
they're like,
the
"I
only
just
reason I
love
like
the
Thanksgiving.
food." And I was like, "I guarantee if I made you with turkey and mashed
No, you
potatoes,
wouldn't- you would be like,
not eat
"Ugh."
it."
It's 3 days off of school.
Yeah, they just care about the break.
yeah,
It's a
no,
break.
But they
It's a
kept saying
holiday.
it
They
was
get to see
because
family.
of the
and
food. I can't wait to eat that food. I'm like, what? Who are you?
They hear.
It's like you eat a roll and then
I
move
know.
on. You're like,
I
what's
feel
wrong
like
with
they
that?
hear the grown-ups say that, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, that's why Thanksgiving's great." It's like, nah, think for yourself, damn it.
Yeah.
Awesome, good segment, guys. That takes us into the game of the episode, which our mad board gamer has prepared for us today. I cannot wait to see what we got for us. What do you got for us,
We
Jeff?
have a game. It's not about chewing.
Okay.
It's not 3 minutes.
Okay.
Might be like 8.
Maybe 8 minutes.
It's
Okay,
the 8-minute game. We're
The
gonna
8-minute
name
game.
85 things.
8 minutes in heaven.
Buckle up.
8 minutes in heaven. It's just me and Natalie kissing.
Just a lot of ASMR or whatever. Just making out.
Dog-powered vehicle will be
Yeah.
puking.
So we're gonna do this. You can do this cooperatively. So we've decided the two of you you guys can work
Love it.
these out.
Okay.
You can do it cooperatively. This is the before and after game. Okay.
Ah, yes, I love before and after.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's before and after with I got a critique that was give it a theme or a category. So this is before and after with a board game and a movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Okay.
specific to board game and movie.
All right.
Okay. So here's I'll preface this with so before and after is the movie and the board game are going to share one common word.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you an example of one. What's an example?
Like for instance, the movie and the board game, the same name is in both of those.
Yes, the same name
Yeah.
is in
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
We did last time I did this, we did Bed, Bath, and Beyond the Sun.
Okay, or Cosmic Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, Cosmic Encounters of the Third Kind. So Cosmic Encounters and Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
You
this is
say it
before
all
and after.
together.
So when I read the clues are always going to start with the board game, but the answer doesn't necessarily start with the board game.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
Because I didn't think that far.
Fine.
through. Okay, here we
Got
go.
it.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Okay.
You're working together.
Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna try for
Because-
the first time
oh, yeah.
to pipe the music in if I can.
All right, pipe it in. Pipe it in.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, we're all going to try this.
Well, I've never piped the game music in while we're
Live?
playing the game.
Ooh.
See how that goes.
Fuck, I don't think I have the game music on here.
Natalie, do the game music.
Shit, I didn't put it in. Well, next episode we're gonna try doing the game music. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so the first one. This board game about making tough political decisions as a monarch merges with a beloved animated film about a young lion destined to rule.
Okay, so it's Lion King.
Lion-
Lion King's Dilemma.
The Lion
Oh, okay.
King's Dilemma.
I was
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
say Kingsburg.
Lion Kingsburg. Yeah,
Kingsburg.
Lion King's
Yeah.
Dilemma.
Come in.
Nailed it.
All right, good job. Okay, in the Red Raven world, this board game is about rebuilding a village and overcoming challenges.
Okay.
Combined with a classic war film about a mission during the Vietnam War.
Okay, I feel like is the game.
It's a famous movie, but I'm thinking that maybe you've seen it.
The game is? Or the movie?
The game is a
The
famous
game
movie.
is a famous movie. yes. Yeah.
Say the whole clue again, please.
Okay, in the Red Raven universe,
Okay.
What's
okay.
Red Raven?
It's a board game publisher.
Oh.
I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
This board game is about rebuilding a village and overcoming challenges, sort of, it's in a trilogy almost.
Above and
Combined
Below?
with the classic film about a mission during the Vietnam War.
Is Red Raven Ryan Lockett?
Yeah.
So that's Above and Below is the game.
There's
I think.
there's a trilogy. It's one of those games.
Could be
with a
Near and
trilogy.
Far.
Near-
Could be Above and Below. What's the other one? Above and Below, Near and Far, and the other one.
Side, left and right?
Left and right. That's it, left and right.
Yeah, left and right. Well, here's a hint. It's the other one.
Oh, shit. What is
So
it,
that's fine. That's
Ryan?
fine. Say the movie. What's the movie part?
It's a classic war film about a mission during the Vietnam War.
Is it like
To me, I think it's the most famous
Black
Vietnam
Hawk
War
Down?
movie.
Is that Vietnam?
No.
I don't know if I've seen Black Hawk Down.
I don't think it's Vietnam. Sounds like.
A famous mission during the Vietnam War. Okay, what was let's see, the Vietnam movie. I'm trying to think of.
I'm trying to see if there's other Vietnam movies. I thought this was the most famous of the Vietnam movies.
What's the name of the game, Ryan?
Okay, there's Above and Below.
Near and Far.
There's Near and Far.
And
left and right.
Okay, maybe it might be this. There's two other ones that are really famous.
Yeah, there's
Like Full Metal Jacket and Good Morning Vietnam.
Full Metal Jacket was the one I was thinking
but
of.
it's not those.
Is Platoon Vietnam?
Well, I don't know. That'll go with the game.
Well, I was hoping that would get me to what the game was.
Oh.
Why can't I fucking think of the other one? I don't like Red Raven games, so this is tough for me to. We had Above and Below.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't like it.
Platoon is a Vietnam.
Okay,
Near
I thought so.
Far, Above and Below, and
There,
think of it.
there and back again. Before and after.
yeah, is it something like that? The name of the game?
They're pretty. It's not.
Shit.
Yeah. It's also. You want another hint? It's
Give me a
very
hint.
close to the name of a candy.
Now and Then.
Now and later. Now and then. It is Now and Then.
Now and Then's a movie.
Oh.
It's close to Now and Then, but you got the first part right.
Now or never.
Now
okay.
or never. Now or never say never. Now or
Now or never say die. Now or.
Well,
it doesn't have to be that.
Oh, something now, or so either ends with
Apocalypse now or never.
Yes, Apocalypse Now or Never.
That's a Vietnam movie.
Apocalypse Now. Yes, right. Of course. Damn. But I got there.
It's a movie. Yeah, we got
there.
Good job.
All right, this one. Next one, number 3. This board game.
Okay.
This is a small stretch.
Okay. Fuck it.
It is a bidding game that Natalie would hate. But Ryan likes and had to get rid of it. This board game about constructing and investing in high value properties.
Okay.
Merged with an animated movie about a waste collecting robot on a deserted Earth.
That's Wall-E.
Something that ends with wall.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta think just at like the edge of the box. Like you don't have to go all the way outside of it, but just like at the edge of it.
Yeah. Pressed up right up against.
So
the
Yes.
it was.
What was the
Buying up
bidding game?
properties?
Buy up properties. For some reason, I can think of for sale, but we still have that.
Think more in like the Chinatown kind of realm.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that.
You were
More of that type of game than
okay.
Wall.
Ryan wanted to fuck Eve. Remember that from last
Right.
Oh, yeah, I remember Eva. Or is it E?
Yeah,
Does
it could be
start
the
with
E. Could be the E.
Wall Eastern Market.
Man, I kind of almost said it.
I like that.
Really? Wall East E-commerce.
Wall-E.
What's a game that I wouldn't like?
I know. I'm trying to think of. There's a
I think
ton.
you did get rid of it. You played it at a Nerd Fest. You got rid of it. I might have dropped the out of it.
Okay.
If that helps.
Fuck. It's a bidding game about buying and selling properties in like Chinatown.
No, it's not in
No,
Chinatown.
he said
I'm
it's
saying
kind. It's
It's
along the
more
line.
It's
Chinatown
like
than for sale.
Got it.
In terms of the gameplay.
I understand. Okay.
It's like auction-y game. Bidding.
Let's go to the next one.
The next one?
We'll
You
come
wanna
back to that.
one?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
come back to that one.
Okay, this board game about building and managing a modern zoo
Okay.
merges with an iconic adventure film, about an archaeologist seeking a powerful artifact.
Raiders of the Lost Ark Nova.
Yes.
Yes.
Raiders of the
Yeah,
Lost
yeah.
Ark Nova.
Sweet. Okay, that feels better now. We got one.
Okay, yeah.
We.
This app turned into board game about defending your empire from waves and waves of enemies.
Got it.
Merged with a buddy cop action film starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, it's the app turned game is the hell's the one we
You said got it.
I can't think of the stand. We told Kyle about it.
Oh, Slay the Spire?
Slay the Spire, right?
How does that have to do with Rush Hour?
Don't know. Slay this app turned.
Think
wait.
more phone app there rather than like Steam.
Ah,
game.
okay. Say the clue again.
It's a phone app, we'll say, turn board game about defending your empire from waves of enemies.
Ah. Okay, and then so we know the movie's Rush Hour.
Mhm.
Oh, I was thinking Plants vs Zombies, but I guess that wasn't a board game.
I reviewed it a handful of episodes ago.
Okay.
Big box, luckied up game.
Well,
Lot of
what game has
minions.
Rush or Hour?
Kingdom Rush. Kingdom Rush Hour?
Kingdom Rush Hour.
Got it.
That's it?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Kingdom Rush.
I'm like, I did that Kingdom Rush. Yeah, Kingdom Rush Hour. Got it. Boom. Bam. Boom.
All right. This. Oh, I'm gonna add a couple words to this one. This video game themed tile laying game.
Okay.
About building the ultimate overlord.
Ooh, yeah.
Like
okay.
thing.
Yep.
Dungeony. Merges with an animated film about a suit-wearing, business-savvy infant.
Overboss baby.
Overboss Baby.
Overboss baby.
Nice.
Good one.
job.
Yeah. All right. This new Hobby World game, the brand, or the publisher, cat and mouse board game about hunting a murderer that I reviewed a handful of episodes ago, combines with a Quentin Tarantino film about a bride seeking revenge.
Okay, that's Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Cat and Mouse.
Oh, Time to Kill Bill.
Time to
Right? Is it Time to Kill?
Nope, we're close.
A time to kill.
Was this like a Gen Con one?
It was a Gen Con
Yeah, it
game.
was the
What was the name of it?
something
Reason
to Kill Bill.
to Kill.
Oh, you're close. You're on the right.
I have the box. I have it in my brain.
Yeah.
Something to Kill Bill.
What did you say initially?
Time to Kill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
close.
does sound good.
Oh yeah, what was the name of it?
What the fuck was it called?
I think it was even. Yeah.
I can see it I can see it right in my head. I think it's called Flapjack Flip
Flap,
Flop.
flap, flip flopper. Flap, flappy, flippy, floppy.
We basically got it.
You got it. Basically got it.
A Room to Kill.
No.
A reason.
I mean, you did
A
basically.
Good Day to Kill Bill.
You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Intent.
Intent to Kill Bill.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of a cool name. What is intent to kill Bill?
Intent to
I
Kill
know,
Bill.
that is
That's
cool.
cool.
All right, no, the next one, I don't know what it is. 7, maybe? 8. This board game about building a casino empire
Got it.
merges with a comedy film about family's chaotic trip to the Sin City.
Lords of
Vegas Vacation.
Yes,
Lords of Vegas Vacation.
Vegas Vacation.
Nice.
This polyomino game about mailing letters.
Giorgio.
This polyomino game about mailing letters merges with a cult comedy about disgruntled office workers rebelling against their company.
Ooh. Post Office Space.
Yes. What is post office space?
Oh, were we supposed to say what it is?
No, I don't care. I just
Okay.
give it
It's Jeopardy too.
Okay, so we have one more, and then the one
And then the
that
one we missed.
Yeah.
So the one more is this board game about harvesting tropical fruits.
Okay, got it.
Chunky, cool tropical fruit merges with a cult classic movie about a mischievous ghost and recently deceased couple.
Okay, it's Beetle Juicy Fruits.
Yeah, Beetle juicy fruits. All right.
Nice.
Okay, and then we're back to
That was a good one.
We're back
Yeah.
to which
Beetle
one?
Juicy Fruits. The E.
The Wally one.
The one you just did has a very similar cadence to that.
Got it.
So yeah, the board
Beetle
game about
juicy
constructing
fruits.
and investing in high value properties, bidding
it just starts
auctiony
with
kind
an
of thing,
E.
Yeah.
merged with the Wally,
What's a
waste collecting robot.
what's a game that starts with the E that's like that?
You really like this.
That you had.
So stupid.
Then you played it at a nerd fest.
It's like the worst playing games. This is where Natalie and I.
If
sit
only
there and
I
go,
could
"What is
learn
this we
more."
just talked
Yeah,
about?"
right.
You can learn- no, not more.
Right.
It's better.
I just gotta learn better.
Yeah.
If I could learn better, damn it.
Did I play this?
You must
I
have
don't
hated
think you played it, but I think the
Oh.
reason you didn't play it was because
I was like,
everyone
she'll
knew
hate
you.
it.
Yeah.
You played it at a nerd fest with like Ben, and Dave, and me and you.
it. Oh, I know the game now, I think.
What is it?
Is it the one that used to be Nui Heimat? That one?
I think maybe.
What the fuck is it called? I know exactly the game now. You got those rows and you're putting things on top of them. Yeah, what is that called? Oh, yeah.
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 It is called. I've looked at it. It is called The Something, and I'm just dropping the.
And it was the Nui Heimat
Yeah.
game? Fuck. Yeah, there's no way. Oh my God, you would have hated it so much. Here's why. It's not only bidding, it's also really
Yeah,
Oh,
you could
really?
like work
you
together
can
and be like, let's
fuck
trade this thing.
people
Yeah.
over big time. in
But the
that.
question is, what's it called?
What's it called?
Kind of like Beatles.
That's not like you for a game that
It's,
you own.
I mean, this was, he says Nerdfest. This was probably Nerdfest 7 years ago.
Oh.
Like, it's a long
Yeah,
time
the game
ago.
came out in 2018.
Okay.
6 years ago then. Because I remember I just got it and we played it.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
fucking tell me.
Wall Estates.
Oh,
The
Estates.
Estate.
The Estates is the name.
Fuck. That is a great game. I really
Yeah.
did like that game.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's what I got.
That was good.
That was awesome.
cool.
That was great. It was just like, some of them were like, when we got them, I was like, phew. Okay, we
Yeah,
finally
some we
got
got
it.
instantly, and some we really had to think
Well, some of them I
about.
was like, I've played more of these games than they played because I know some of them like I just played them. So
well,
it made
even
it a little
so,
harder,
a
but-
lot of them
Hey,
we
you're
still
making the
have
game.
heard of or
So that's
know
why
the
it's hard
name.
for us.
Yeah.
yeah.
I understand that. All right, that's going to take us into the top 5 of the episode. Way back, before Jeff even joined the show in episode 16. Natalie and I took you through our top 5 cooperative games. And so we are kind of in a space where we're like, what the fuck is a top 5 going to be? So we were like, you know what? There's a lot of really old ones that we could probably update. And this is one that we could update. We updated filler games in the same kind of way a number of episodes ago. And this time we're going to update and redo our top 5 cooperative games.
Yes.
All right. With this one, we'll just go in order: Natalie, Jeff, me. And what I'm doing in my list in this one, we were talking about this a little before the show. It doesn't have to be, we call these top 5s. It's really just a list of 5 things that you want to highlight for some reason, right?
Here's 5 games.
It can be your favorite, but in something like this, if I did my favorite cooperative games, everyone that listens to the show with
You're
any
like, yeah, we
regularity
know.
knows them back to back. So I'm going to not necessarily just put my overall favorite top 5. If you guys want to do that, that's completely fine with me. But
Yeah.
just so you know, that's how I'm approaching it. So Natalie, with that in mind, what is your number 5 cooperative game?
My number 5 is Tranquility.
Ooh, fun one. Tranquility. I remember Tranquility.
Yeah,
Cube box.
it's kind of like
with the square cards.
where you have the square cards and they have numbers on them, and you're trying to be able to place them all out in order, start to finish, without
I
people
like that
running
game.
out of their
Yeah.
action.
That's
stuff.
a really fun game. What was the other game that had square cards that was like Pokemon themed?
Oh yeah,
It also had square cards. and
I
a
know
big
what you're
grid
talking
like
about.
that.
I don't remember
And you,
the name of it.
Went down.
Oh,
the
yeah, you
road,
guys-
went across
Yeah.
Me
the
and
thing.
the 2 of you played it because it was like a 2-player, and then there was like a
I know it's not cooperative, but for some reason, when I think
Yeah.
Tranquility, I'm thinking this big array of square cards,
It's like
and that was in it too.
Aethermon, I think.
Aethermon.
Yeah.
Aethermon.
Oh wow,
Cool. That's a good one, Natalie. Tranquility. I kind of forget about that sometimes. I like that game.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, what about you at number 5?
I have a mix of just games I haven't talked about in a while that I like that are cooperative, and a couple that are like my favorites.
Okay.
I've also left off some of my new favorites to see if those
If they-
hold up.
yeah.
Like the Gang being one where I just want to keep playing all the time.
Did a similar thing.
I'm going to say this is a game so my number 5 is a game that this rarely happens to. I rarely play a game initially and I'm like, that was not fun. And then I play it again and I like it. And I'm going to say Spirit Island is number 5.
Very cool. I agree with that
Our
sentiment.
first play was a big dud because it was so difficult.
So
and I know
hard.
you played it again after that and it was so difficult again.
Played it with
You're like,
Dave, with your brother,
"This is
and we were like,
fucking
this
dumb."
is stupid.
And then since then, I've gotten Bill all of the stuff for Spirit Island, and we've played it, and it's fun. I see it. I can see the light now.
You're
in the
totally
game.
right.
Like, okay, I understand that this is a lot of fun. So I'm like, it doesn't usually happen. Usually I play a game, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Agreed.
Or if I do decide to give it another play, I feel the same way. And this one, it turned me around.
We bought the Target one
Yeah.
and loved it.
Horizons.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
what the
that
hell was
was
wrong with
fun.
this?
Yeah. So that's my number 5 is Spirit Island. So
Very
if you
good.
like cooperative games, especially heavy, difficult cooperative games, play that. Because I think all of our lists could be easy card game. Like we could just do variations of the Crew over and over again.
Yes.
But that being a heavy cooperative game.
I'm glad you said that. That is a perfect segue into mine, which is probably even heavier than that cooperative game. So I have maybe 6 times throughout my board gaming journey owned all of Vital Lacerda's games and then sold all of Vital Lacerda's games. But back and forth. Snip, snap, snip,
Yeah,
snap,
snip,
snip,
snap,
snap. You have no
We liked
idea
it so
the
much.
physical toll that 3 vasectomies has on a person. And the game I'm talking about is the only Vital Lacerda game I've kept in my collection. It's because it's one of our favorite cooperative games. We took it off the top 10 because we haven't played it in a while. It's CO2 Second Chance.
Yeah.
Man, is that a fun cooperative game. It's heavy, but it's still a lot of fun to play. And if you're into heavy games, you're not really maybe considering that there's some heavy cooperative games out there. Spirit Island and CO2 are 2 examples of you can heavy game cooperative
And if you're
and have fun.
if you're intimidated by that, the weight of those, especially CO2, it doesn't feel as heavy because you are working together.
Right.
Other people's brains help your brain.
Yeah.
You know, when you can learn better.
Yeah, it's not good for me.
As long as you're learning.
I have to teach
it.
it. Yeah. Natalie, what's your number 4?
My number 4 was actually CO2, but I'll kind of go along with your heavy theme. I don't know if this is
Sweet.
quite as heavy as those, but another pretty good one that I would like to try again is Daybreak.
Nice.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You guys did like that one.
It's not as heavy. I have that actually as my number 6 here. So that, yeah, I agree. It did something to us where we played it. Typically, like we'll play a game and it's like, if we don't get back to it, it's gone.
Yeah.
But Daybreak we've kept. And I'm like, I want to play it again. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's definitely heavier. It's not as heavy as Spirit
Right,
Island,
but
and
it's
not
not
as
like
heavier
the
as
gang or
CO2. Right,
Yeah.
but you're right. It's like a game.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's a difficult game to play and win. So yeah, we should probably try to at least figure that out.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff,
Yeah.
number 4 for you.
My number 4 is The Grizzled.
Oh, right, the
like a
Grizzle.
throwback.
That's an old
that's like
one.
it's one of the first kind
Like
of
2015 going back.
It might even be one. It was definitely in the early part of my collecting games,
Right.
And it's just fun. It's got a World War I theme. You're just trying to survive, and I think that's kind of a cool. You're not fighting the war. You're just trying to hide in trenches and not die. And it just you're kind of working together. There's some things where sometimes you can't talk, sometimes you can't do this. And
You
just
might
kind of
have
like
another
playing
game
it.
on
It's
your
cool.
list where you're just trying to survive.
Just
Maybe
trying
not.
to survive. Maybe.
Maybe we'll see. That's an interesting one. Okay, number 4 for me is the opposite end of the spectrum from the heavy games.
Yeah.
And this is one that we found out about this year that I might have played this game more than. This might be my most played game of the year when it's all said and
We'll
done.
find out in a couple
and
episodes.
it's Edo Rainbow. We will.
Yeah.
We'll find out in a couple episodes. Edo Rainbow. We heard about from Plurpy. Plurpy. He's got our number with games that we just fucking love occasionally. They'll just hit with us, right? We had Nana last year.
yeah.
And this year's Edo Rainbow has kind of taken us by storm. We haven't played in a little while, but it was the only thing we played for a long time.
Yeah, we played a lot.
And it is a great time. Any iteration of Edo, I think, is probably fun.
I'm pretty confident Arcane Wonder. They at least have it. It's got to be out very soon, at least. So you don't necessarily have to buy it overseas if you live in the States. Then,
And if it's not available here, you can
There's the
play it
app.
with the Mind Deck.
yeah.
Or you can just get 2d10s and play it with some dice.
Yeah.
Right. So that's Edo Rainbow number 4. Natalie, what's your number 3?
My number 3, it is one we've talked about a bunch, but
It bears repeating.
yes, it's called Paint the Roses.
Awesome.
Just because
Devin
it
loves
is
that
one
too.
that
No, we're not. We're not having any fun. No.
It's just one that I specifically remember kind of like blowing our mind every time we play it. You like figure out more and more, and you're kind of just like, whoa. And
Yes.
and we played it a ton.
We had that whoa
we
feeling with
learned
Jeff, I
so
remember.
much about it, figuring things out. And it was just like a really cool cooperative experience.
That's a great pick. I completely agree with you. Jeff, number 3?
My number 3, I'll talk about the other game, This War of Mine.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be in there.
So this game started as a Steam game, and I played it a lot when it was on Steam. And then when the board game version came out, I was very intrigued and like, all right, how is this going to be? And it is a wonderful implementation of the Steam game.
Yeah.
And it is a depressing board game.
Right.
You're basically you're in a country that is having a civil war and is being torn apart. And again, your goal is to survive in this abandoned house, go out at night and
You're just like a civilian?
rummage. You're a civilian. You're trying to rummage through buildings, and how far you go is the riskier to be there, or you can go to more dangerous buildings that have stuff. And you're just trying to survive. And there's events that people knock on doors, and do you want more people to go with you? It's just it's a heavy emotional game, but the game is just done really, really well.
Yeah.
And you could play it by yourself if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And, be sad by yourself.
That's Awaken Realms, right?
Yes. And again, like wonderfully produced and put together. So yeah, that's my number 3.
they
is
do.
This War of
Great pick. Number 3 for me is a throwback that I'm very saddened that we haven't played the whole thing. We just kind of stopped it. And I know Jeff's played it all, loves it. Natalie and I will maybe do it one day. Maybe we'll play it with Cameron again. And this one's Mechs versus Minions.
that was on my list.
Man,
gonna
do
swap mine
I
out. That was my
love
next
that
one.
game. Was it really?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
man, do I love that game. I had such a blast playing it. It's unlike anything, you play. It's made by Riot Games, who do, what's the
Some video game.
game that they play? What the fuck's it
I
called?
mean, they sold the whole
Mm-hmm.
game for like $1.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, we have so much money, just give us $1.
We are going to take a horrible
Just pay for
loss
shipping.
on
Who
this. It was like
cares?
$50 you could
Yeah,
get it at one
yeah.
point, and it's like the huge League of Legends is what it is.
Yeah.
It's based on the League of Legends video game system, which
Super
is
fun.
like
I'll remember
crazy
going
good.
through that like
Yeah,
forever.
forever.
Like it's just a cool.
Yeah,
It was a
I
fun
remember
experience.
it being really fun.
I'm excited to actually
Yeah.
start it over and try it
Yeah,
again.
that'd be
Maybe we could
cool.
go through
And they
it with
also have like
Cameron.
little boxes and sort of like
Yeah, stuff to
kinda
open.
opening
It's
stuff
mini
and-
legacy, and yeah, so that's number 3 for me. Mechs versus Minions. We're on to number 2. Natalie, what's number
Ron.
2?
Ron,
Round of number 2. Come in, number 2.
Ham,
ham. They do like the way she says ham.
ham.
My number 2 is Slay the Spire. Just
Awesome.
because this seems like a typical game I would not like, yet I did. And then I got obsessed with the video game for
Yeah,
a
you
while.
did.
You did.
And then I took a break, and then I got obsessed with the video game again after we played the board game again. And
Yep.
so
Now he's like,
like
can
it's a
you guys
pattern.
play Star Wars Unlimited, please, so I
Yeah.
can go play
Yeah,
hours
I need
worth
to play
of
this.
yeah, Slay the Spire. We got our brother-in-law Kyle into it.
oh
And
my God, he's played.
the last time we saw him, which was like, I don't know, last week, he was like, I have not stopped playing that.
We played
He's
this
like,
game
I've got
with him.
hundreds of hours logged
I
into
think we
it
played
now.
this game with him in August. And then
That
he hasn't
night.
stopped playing the video game since then.
That night he downloaded it, and he's like I cannot stop. He's like Frankie hates it.
I have a problem.
Because he's like I literally cannot put it down. He's like
yeah,
I'm
he's
still
like, every
playing. I'm
time
playing
I'm
it
on
right
my
now.
phone, I'm playing it.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Slay the Spire. Jeff, number 2 for you.
My number 2 is Aeon's End.
Cool.
It's just,
Joe's game, right?
It's a different take on sort of like deck building fighting. Usually, like I think of Thunderstone or Ascension or Dominion or those kind of games where you do this, you
Card
sort of
goes
build
into your discard
Yeah,
pile,
and this
yeah.
is just and working together in that is unique, and I thought that was cool.
True.
We went through the Legacy. We've played the regular game a few times, but we went through the 8 or 9 missions of the Legacy, and that was just fun. Again, not my favorite cooperative game, but it's something to mention where it's like if you like fighting and deck building, but you want to work together to fight a big baddie, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I know I've played it. Aeon's End is the one where you put the cards on top of your deck, right?
Cards right on top.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then you're buying things, and the big boss is like sending out
Are
waves.
those square cards too?
There's square cards on your player board that says like when you can open up your thing to activate. your
Okay,
board.
okay, but
yeah,
mostly
there are
it's
some
normal.
square cards. Yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's a
Yeah.
cool one. Number 2 for me is a game that won the Spiel des Jahres last year. And there's a new version that just came out that I'm excited to get into, and it's it's the Dwarf Romantic series.
Yep.
I don't really know. The first time we played, it's no surprise, it was fucking terrible.
Dud.
We played it with nothing. It was like the basic bare bones box, and we played with 6 people, and it was just pointless.
Yeah.
I've played the video game. Have you played the video game?
Yes.
I like the video game. The video game is fun.
I played that.
Really
I played it in the
chill.
different modes. You could just like build forever.
You can just build
or
forever
you
and do whatever. And it's just cool watching the little animations, the little birds
Yeah.
fly by, and it's just kind of fun to do. And then when we started playing the board game for real, with just 4, it was just 4 of us. It just got awesome, and we just kept wanting to unlock because there's tons of unlockables in it,
Yeah.
and and it just adds more stuff into the game and a little more components, a little more rules, a little more ways to make it a little, and it just kept building and building. And I was like, this is just really fun. So we completed that, and the new one just came in the mail.
Okay.
It's like I think it's called Sakura, or
yeah.
it's like a Japanese theme,
something.
and it looks fucking awesome.
Do you have to combine it with the first one?
Nope,
No.
it's a standalone, complete standalone. It's just got just more of the same,
Yeah.
just with
Just a
different,
different,
just a
like,
different theme,
theme.
and there's like probably a little, a couple different mechanics that
It'd be
come
cool
up.
if it started at like a slightly higher level.
I
but
know.
it probably doesn't.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
it's like you don't have to, for money
Play
purposes,
one.
you don't have to even play the
Yeah.
first one probably. But that's my number 2, Dwarf Romantic, which brings us to number 1. Natalie, what do you got for number 1? It's probably the same as mine.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
My number 1 is a game that we've only played a couple of times,
not
but
then.
I freaking love it, and I'm just.
Oh, okay.
It's probably one of the main games lately that I just can't wait to get back to, and it's AI Space Puzzle.
you love
It's
this
really
game.
cool.
We got it at Gen Con. It was on the list. It was high. It was like 3, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely in the
Yeah.
5.
It was in the 5. It was in
Yeah.
the 5, and I'm glad that it hit for you. It's a Portal games, I think. Cool.
Yeah.
Number 1, Jeff.
My number 1 is the game that got me into board gaming, and it's Ghost Story.
Yeah, buddy. That's a great one.
We may have talked about this in the past, but not as often as we talk about like Homesteader, Shelley. But this Ghost Stories is, you know, you're these like, you know, I don't know, are you ninjas or just fighters, kind of just fighting off the spirits of taking over?
I feel like if anything, you're like
Ghostbusters.
no, like what's Pai Mei in Kill Bill? He's like
yeah,
the Chinese version, you know, like kung fu, like a kung fu artist. I think you're
It's
monks
just-
actually,
but it's
maybe.
just
I don't
cool.
know.
It was like the first time I saw like, oh, everybody has a
don't
player
really know.
power. You're fighting together. Each of
it's
these
Buddhists.
tiles have these different actions and different powers, and it's just all like, I was like, this is super cool, and it's just
So
a game
cool.
that I'll have in my memory forever. And if you haven't played it, you should try it. There is a new version of Ghost Stories that's not called Ghost Stories,
Right.
But it's the same game, and I feel like I
Maybe
should.
you're Taoist monks or something. I remember when we figured out, like, put the Buddha in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and then
there
you
was
just-
like a time we were
yeah.
like, oh my God, if we just put the Buddha in the corner, it's like unlocked a new wave of strategy.
yeah.
Might not, it wasn't not the corner. I don't know. I remember it was, like we did that and we were like, oh my God, this makes it so much easier.
Yeah,
What a great
The new one
fucking
is
game.
called Last Bastion. Is that how you
Last
say that word?
Bastion,
Yeah,
yeah.
Last Bastion. Same game, themed a little different. I think there's a rules tweak here and there, but
Yeah. Can you not find Ghost Stories anymore? Is that why?
I think you can.
You're
but
right.
I
That was
don't
one of
really
the
know.
great
But yeah, that was
original-
just something I remember, and I feel like it's kind of gone away. So
True.
we'll give it
has.
another.
Interesting. Number one for me, I just kind of had to keep this one on top. Pretty much anytime Natalie and I want to play a game, we reach for Codenames Duet.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
I don't think that's really ever going to stop.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
good.
we're always hoping to find the next Codenames
Have you
Duet.
finally gone through like the map?
We're
We
in
were
the middle
working
of
on
it.
Okay,
it,
cool.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it.
Because you
and
played
it's
it like
awesome.
30 times without.
Yes.
right?
30 to 50
the
times
last,
without.
like
The map's
5 or 6
cool.
times we
It
played
is.
with the
It
map.
works. It definitely adds another wrinkle
Yeah.
into
We're
it.
probably
Like,
like-
oh, okay, now we have something to shoot for.
Like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't miss, or I only get 8 clues or something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I mean, I don't see anything dethroning that for the two of us. I hope something would.
Yeah.
Because I'm always, again, looking for something
Yeah.
that Natalie and I can just like, okay, we're just going to pick this up and play this. And we actually did move on a little bit more with Bomb Busters.
Okay.
Yeah.
We played another couple. I'm still kind of in the meh.
Still eh.
Yeah, I don't know that I really care to go back to it, quite honestly. If Natalie wants to, I of course will, but I'm not like itching to get back to it.
Yeah, my thing, I do like it. I think I'm a little disappointed, and part of it is like, am I just like missing something? Because whenever we play it, you know, we have a hard time like beating some of them, and when like sometimes when you
It's
play a
hard.
game, you're kind of like, oh, if I would have done this, or maybe next time I'll
you
try
can, like,
this.
see
But
the
instead,
path.
it ends, and I'm like, what would we
Yeah,
have done?
what would we have done? There's got to be
How could
something we would have done
yeah,
differently.
and that makes me kind of feel a little stupid. Like, what are we missing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost like when we would play exits together, just the two of us, or unlocks the two of us. I'm like, our
Just throw it
brains
away.
are we need
throw
to
the
like
garbage.
either
Yeah.
play it with Jeff or we can't do it just the two of us
We've
because we
also
think
only
too
played it with
similarly.
2 people, so like we're like, is that a harder way to play it? Is that the easier? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to know. It's harder in one way because you only get 2 mistakes and you're dead.
Okay.
Where because you get the number of mistakes as equal to
Yeah,
the number of
that's why
players.
it's so hard.
Okay.
So there's 4 players, you get 4 mistakes. However, you only have a quarter of the tiles
Yeah,
now.
right.
You know what I
There's 4
mean? So
people
it's
taking
like it
advantage.
should be harder, right? So it's like in that way, it seems like it should be easier. I think it probably scales appropriately based
Yeah,
on
probably,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't see it. Like if we play with somebody else, like we play with you, I'm sure we might win and it might be a little easier. I don't know that I like the
Yeah.
mechanics as that much that I'm going to love it and
I don't
keep
see
it.
us going through
Because I
that
kind of
one.
feel that way about Infiltrators too, honestly. Like I've thought about going back to that. I'm kind of like, maybe I'm
Yeah.
done with Infiltrators. You know what I mean? So, do you guys have any honorable mentions? I just didn't write
Yeah.
down. I could go a million of them.
I
There's
have
so many.
Sky Team.
Oh yeah, Sky
Team's cool.
Team.
I
is
put Soul
great.
Clover. It was a game
Yep.
that just was awesome for a
one.
really long time. It's still great.
Yeah.
Obviously, Decorum.
I thought you were going to say
Obviously.
Decorum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put Freedom, the Underground Railroad game.
Good one.
Which is really, really a good game.
Oldie but goodie.
Dave and I played through Gears of War and really
Yeah,
loved
you
it.
did.
That game, I don't know if it holds up, but man, again, it's like one of those things where I
You
remember
have that memory.
playing that.
Yeah. You would do it like first thing on Nerdfest.
Yeah,
You,
like, all right,
you guys would play.
We're gonna
Let's
play
another
Roadie
one.
run through the run through the level, but yeah. So those are some ones I at least wanted to highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, these aren't necessarily my favorites of all time cooperative games, but I think these are ones that if you don't have these ones, maybe they're a little off the beaten path. Check them out because I think you might enjoy some of these.
Check it out.
So check it out. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters Mad Board Gamer gear. So head on over to the link tree on the Gamecasters Instagram page or the merch channel in our Discord server to find the link to our Bonfire merch store. So, for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I'm Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. I was
It
promoted.
usually covers like Christmas.
Natalie
presents.
was just promoted. She just got a promotion too. We both were just promoted. I'm hoping that will help out bonuses for us.
Now you take 2 weeks off, go to Japan, come back promoted. That's pretty good. Damn, Natalie.
That's why.
You really
Because
got your
she's
job.
cultured now.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
She wasn't cultured.
You
I
left.
can speak Japanese.
You left and they realized they're like, we can't do any of this.
Right.
We have
What
no
the fuck
idea.
can we do?
We need to give Natalie a promotion.
I actually asked for it.
Say yes.
I was just like,
Give me the promotion.
Give me a
Give it to me.
promotion.
because my old
Give it to me. Say
my
it.
old job.
I wanna be
didn't
CEO.
make
1,
sense.
2, 3. It's fine.
My old job didn't make sense, like my title.
My job doesn't make sense. I don't know how to do it.
Just promote me.
and
Yeah.
I'll figure that one out. This one I don't know how to do
Maybe
anymore.
we'll just fire you. If it doesn't make any sense, then
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it anymore.